Y'all, I got a very specific song stuck in my head and I need help. It's the Final Fantasy XIV song! I can't remember the city, the name of it, but it's the end game for Endwalker City. We want to know. We. Speaking of, what are we gonna listen to today? I found Hot Drinks. Well, shit. Now I have a new song stuck in my head. Thanks, Lily. Hot drinks really get you going. Want you up when you feel your soul. No, I have. Okay, this one's pretty good. Let's do this one. It's not too loud, is it? Nah, it's pretty good. But, yeah, no, it's the, I'm helping, it's the ba-ba-ba-da, ba-na-da-da-da, ba-na. Can't remember the exact song, but it's really good. Yeah, what town is that? Tell me. Help. Oh, Leon is trying his best. Hi, Cupcake, welcome in. I'm trying to figure out the song that's stuck in my head.
Wait a minute.
It's the one where Home Dog is dancing to it when it's super bassy, and it's my favorite. Lubin, you know who I am. Hi, Mephistopheles. You raided someone and I ended here. Yay! Yeah, who did I raid yesterday? Yeah, it is Endwalker. Razat Han! I got Razat Han stuck in my head. But yeah, who did I raid? Woo! Was it Woo? I think it was Woo. But welcome in, I hope you're doing okay. Or was it someone else? I've raided a lot of people. My brain tends to forget all the cool people I've found over the years. But welcome in, everyone. It is Wednesday, my guys, my dudes, my dudettes, my pals, my palorinos. We're going to be world building. Specifically, I'm going to be going over my TTRPG that I'm trying to make from scratch and probably failing. I forgot. Me too, I forgot. But yeah, we're going to be making some world-buildy stuff. Specifically, I'm going to be going over everything that I've made and filling in the gaps here and there. Because I've sort of finished all of the mechanics, at least I think I have, and all I really have to do now is work on how the weapons are going to work mechanically, because you guys are going to have to kill people here and there. As much as I would love to see every episode be a Star Trek, even Star Trek had, hey, let's shoot people episodes. I got a question, or I want your opinion on something as an artist. Yeah, sure, go for it. What's up? I'll like jam out to these bangers. Also, let me set up my tablet real quick. Because, I'm gonna be drawing, like little art icons, I guess, for my template, my book. Ooh, alrighty. Tablet set up. Is it wiped down? Yeah, it's wiped down.
Vessel didn't rub his little nose on it today.
This music's fucking jammer. What do you think of people that draw a base character, then use AI to do shading and stuff? Depends on the AI. Did it scrape art from other artists without their consent? Then yes, it's bad. If it's some sort of 3D shading program that's in the program or like on the website, on a website that's ethically made using AI to figure out where the shading would go, not based off of art that's been taken or scraped by artists without their consent, that would be fine. But if it scrapes art without an artist's consent, no. It's bad. I get shading is hard. It's a 2D character reference for a game. No, I mean, like, there's actual programs out there that will take a 2D image and simulate 3D shading based on where the line art is. It will, like, guess based on how shading is worked and how the algorithm is programmed. But there's only, like, one of those that does that, and I think it's Clip Studio Paint, but I don't remember. But otherwise, no. It's not a good idea. Sorry. I get shading's hard. I don't shade, but the jewelry looked fucked up on the drawing. That would make sense, yeah. Yeah, no, that would be technically for me, it would be unethical. They said they layered it. No. You can tell when it's been generated through an AI filter of some sort. If it looks like it was made by it, it probably was, and you shouldn't be fucking with it. That's how I do it, at least. Also, what do you think if it's your friend that's boasting about a game they're making? I'd tell them to boast about going and getting actual art for their game. Like, I've had to shut down a couple of people for getting hype about AI. I'm like, you know what it's doing, though. I hope. Even if it didn't cost us the literal power grid where I live, it's still unethical. You're stealing shit.
Thank you for the pet chicken skull.
What? Thank you for the sip. Oh, pill check. Pill check for those of you who take pills.
Med check.
Yep, med check. I'm the silly Billy who didn't do it. I ran into that situation and told them they shouldn't post the reference because they get shat on. Oh no, they would get roasted and their clock cleaned immediately. Developer art exists for a reason. I'd rather someone show me a game with stick figures and MS Paint scribbles than AI stuff. Yeah, I would much rather see that. I would much rather see stick figures. In fact, I've played a game about stick figures. It's called West of Loathing. And it's a good-ass game, and it is all stick figures. It ain't about how it looks. Also, they could always put in placement art later and then have someone draw something or even draw something themselves. He's making the models in the game. As someone who has done modeling, some of your art style will actually shine through if you're also doing the textures. If you're making the models themselves and not doing the textures, then yeah, that's another issue altogether. But these on this model, I didn't make the model itself, but I did make every single texture on this bitch. This ear, these earrings, I did that. These ears, I did that. This fucking coat, I made these rings,
My nails.
I did all of this. So art style will still peek out in 3D as well.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, everything here you've seen except for this cute little art gallery I got going. Everything else you've seen here I made. Oh, and also except for my logo down here. I didn't make that. That was made by I believe Apollo or Hyacinth. Hyacinth Apollo?
I'm on the floor.
I can't exactly remember their full name. They've changed it a couple times. It is down in the credits below though. If you're developing a game, you should focus on the gameplay first. Don't worry about getting art until your game is fun. I agree with that 100%. Did y'all guys see the fucking first bit of like cover art for Repo when it came out? It was a creepy photoshopped image of a laughing emoji. And it was horrifying, and I didn't take it seriously. I was like, what the fuck is Repo? I don't care. It's scary. And now it's like one of the funnest games I've ever played. That's a highly man. Sorry, I'm drinking water while I'm talking. Oh, there we go. Alright. But, yeah. And first and foremost, you gotta make sure the game's actually fun and good. I like Repo too. Yeah, it's really fun. I find Repo more fun than Lethal Company. Same. So it felt like Lethal Company walked so Repo could run. Lethal Company was good for what it was, but then Repo came out, and you're like, yeah, no, that one's better. And I think it's because you can bring your friends back. Is this the one in Illis where like it's an actual song? What? Close up. Whispers. I like. What are we talking about, Dread? I'm confused. I made my model that I can't use because my PC is shit. Oh no! I think in Vroid Studio, and I tried to do the colors and outfit myself. It looks a tad bit messed up, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine! Do you want to know a secret? Cupcake! Cupcake, come here! Come here, you want to know a secret? You want to know a secret? I made this fucker in Vroid too. This is all Vroid. Oh, got a little far. Cause the one in you mean Elpis? Yeah, Elpis. What song? Because the one in Elpis space is close in the distance. Is it? Dun. I'm trying to remember the Elpis music. I know Close in the Distance plays when you're flying through the space. That's not Elpis, that's space. Sing it? What, Close in the Distance? It's not Elpis. No, it's not Elpis. Close in the Distance is my favie. I was singing Razat Han earlier. Ba-na-da-da-da. Ba-na-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum. That's Razat Han, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. And it got stuck in my head because I was picturing Emmett Selk doing the fucking, what is it? The Persona 4 dance battle. To dance. I have it here. I can do that dance if I wanted. Vroid can do some insane shit if you learn it. Yeah, it can. I just don't know how to put custom jewelry on it. Depends on how custom you want the jewelry, I guess. Cause here, let me scoot in again, just to show you. These are my rings, for instance, my pretty little rings that I'm wearing. And then here's another ring. This is my wedding ring. It's a sun.
Because me and me want to married. It's a sun bear.
The dance is so good though. It is. And this little hair clip on my head, it's a 3D object. Look at it. And then these are my earrings. They're kind of flat, but you can't tell because of the shading that I put on them.
Where?
And that's all of my jewelry. Also, I have my little choker to hold my coat back. That was added in as... Don't eat my earring, I need that! This was added in as a glove, pretty much, like as a second thing you put over your hand. And these are hair pieces. And my monocle! My monocle is also a little object that's right here on my face. That's a thing. But yeah, these earrings, this little hair clip, and my monocle are hair pieces that I edited for myself. Because this model was brought into Blender to clean up, but that was mostly to pull in the sleeves right here to make this a little puffier right here because it was flatter at the time, as you can see. And it was also for the sake of bringing in some of the textures on my coat, as well as puff out this thing right here. Little me. This thing. See this on my leg? That wasn't always sticking out like that. I did that myself. Same thing with my shoes. I brought in my shoes a little more. So I used Blender to like clean it up a little, but for the most part, the textures and the 3D objects were all added on me in Vroid. Because Vroid, if you know how to work it, it's crazy. Vroid, Blender, and Unity are a winning combo. Yeah, I don't think I had to put it in Unity. I think it was fine. Yeah, I don't think I put it in Unity. I need to try Blender. Blender's really good. It's a lot at first if you don't know anything about any 3D programs. Is Blender free though? Yes, Blender is free. You can actually download it on Steam if you want. I have it on Steam now that I've realized it's on Steam because I don't want to not lose out on updates. People couldn't tell my models were V-Roid because of how much I edited them. Yeah, same. I hope people can't. Well, I don't mind if people can tell if this was made in V-Roid or not. I just know my textures are custom enough. That's the thing. Even if you can tell it's a V-Roid model or not, that, you know, who cares? If it's V-Roid, it's V-Roid. It's just a medium in which you make a model to have a 3D VTuber, which I have gone back and forth a few times on whether or not I want to be 3D or 2D, and I've always settled on 3D because 3D just has more to it. I can move my hands and shit. So, what do you use to actually track your face and stuff? I have a regular ass. What kind of webcam is this? It's a Logitech camera. I have a Logitech camera. Is it Logitech? Oh, I guess it's a Logitech stream camera specifically. I didn't always start with this. I have upped my technology over time in a slow progression. It's an Elgato. I started with a Logitech. So I started with like a dinky little camera. I got an Elgato later because I saved up from streaming. And then I bought a Leap Motion. I didn't start with the Leap Motion. What app do you put it through? I use VC Face as well. However, I use VNyan as a plug for my redeems. For instance, if I were to get petted, VNyan pulls up stuff for me. And I get petted for my redeems. Now, I believe VNyan can be used as its own standalone app, but I have not figured out how to do it. So many redeems. I have so many redeems because of it. You can also splash me. Splash the shit out of me. Also, I'm doing this. No one needs to use their points because I'm doing it. I'm trying to find a dance. You can also change my model. I'm gonna change myself to a maid. There we go. There I am. And this is another outfit I made for myself. I want to chuck you. Then do it! Throw me! I dare you! But, yeah, this is another outfit I made for myself. Hold on.
Let me share it. I think I'm pretty. I'm very proud of this outfit.
And all of the textures were made by me.
Made by yours truly.
I have so many ruffles! I love the ruffles on this dress. I love it. But, yeah. You can get a lot done nowadays if you want to ever get into VTubing, just because of, like, it's seamless! Exactly. It will not allow me. Oh, probably because I was already thrown recently.
I am Femboy. Thank you for noticing.
Appreciate the dress. I sewed this thing with my bare hands. I used to date a semi-femboy before he became a player. Aw, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
So I guess I'm staying in my maid outfit for a bit. And we're gonna hop over here. I'm gonna do some art. Alrighty. With that out of the way, let me go grab... Where is it? It's not here. Here it is. Okay. So I have... Let me make sure everything is lined up. Yes. Okay. Ort! Yeah, sort of Ort. We're gonna be sort of doing... You okay, babe? Why crying?
Why crying?
Why crying? What bad news did Lillian tell you about painting? Also, thank you for the yeet, Lillian! Leon's crying over something. Desmond, can you switch your husband? He's freaking out over paint. Yeah, let me go kiss him. I'm gonna go... Uh-huh. Yeah. It's gonna be okay, baby. Hey. You're okay.
Yeah, I will be at some point.
Play with them unpainted. So cute. I'm just gay for my husband. He's crying because he's trying to get into Warhammer 40k, and Lilin V. Damon, as you see in the chat, he's helping him in DMs, and I guess Leon's reading up on it and is crying. It's me, the problem. It is me, the problem creature.
Problem. I'm just stupid.
Honey. He called me a nightmare. I am not a nightmare. It's not my fault Warhammer makes shit hard.
So it's not. It's just.
Oh, well then why are you crying?
Shut
It's not that hard, I probably. Oh, I should check things VC. Yeah. Cupcake thinks you guys are funny. Which, they're right, you are funny. I'm gonna get more sippy, I'm thirsty. Oh, y'all, guess what I have? I have hot and flaming hot Cheetos! Guess who's gonna set his mouth on fire? Me.
I got bland, depressed.
Silly Desmond, it's always your fault. It's not my fault this time, it's the paint. The paint did it. Anyway. This is what we're doing. You are a flaming Cheeto! Thanks! Thank you. That's all I've ever wanted to be in life. Okay, I'm trying to put this in the middle here. There we go. During Pride? Yeah. Yeah. I want spicy puffy chips again like Ghost Puffs. Ooh, yummy. Aw, buddy, the paint goblin. It's me. Alright, so welcome to ELDRIG Nova, my TTRPG. I am trying to make it from scratch. It is not a homebrew. It is not a homebrew from a pre-existing campaign or game. It is a hopefully fully original TTRPG. Thank you. Phone's on 9%. Oh god, plug that shit up! Plug it on! David! Check VC.
Okay.
June, gay pride. June, July, gay wrath. Followed by August, gay alibi! True. Ow, hiccups. Oh my god, those are cute! Dread? Where did you get those? Where did you get that? That's cute!
It's plugged. Excellent.
Dread, those are cute. I made them! They're cute! It was me! It's cute! Your art style's adorable. It's creatures. That's very cute. Dread drew something very adorable in VC. Go check it. Does that mean September is Gay Labor Month? Cause Labor Day? Either way, I'm making gay babies or working it. Oh yeah, we gotta make the gay babies. AKA my OCs.
Egg sugar skull.
What is this song? Forgot to do my MLP dailies. Ooh, your My Little Pony dailies? Is that what that is? Didn't know My Little Pony had an MMO. Kevin keeps coming over to scrum and then run away. Aw, cute. Yeah, the game. Oh shit, there's a game. I was being facetious. I didn't realize My Little Pony had a game. Well, I'm sure they had some sort of game. I didn't think it was like a game with dailies in it. That's wild. Okay, so yeah, welcome everyone to ELDRIG Nova. It is a TTRPG system that I've been trying to make from scratch, and I've been trying to like make it different enough to where people don't think it's D&D because it's really not. D&D's system kind of frustrates me nowadays because of how outdated it is. Because it's like 2012, I believe. It came out in 2012, 2013, something like that. Yeah, 5e, not 4e. 4e was even worse.
It's just shit.
4e was terrible. 5e is what everyone knows nowadays. 2014. It's old, and if I'm being honest, I'm kind of sick of playing it. So what I'm doing is making my own custom mechanics and custom ideas. Now, obviously, it's going to share overlap with a lot of different TTRPGs because you can't have it be a TTRPG without, like, similar rules.
Thank you, Sugar.
But I will do a quick review of everything I have so far and go over what I need to add in order for it to be, at least for me, be considered somewhat complete before it can be played. So, here is the rundown of the actual story. Well, who you see here is this adorable little lady. I swear you yawn the most when I'm drawing you, hecking Fleeman. Why did you just call me a Fleeman? That's so mean. You know what? I'm gonna yawn again. That's what you get for yelling at me. I'm gonna yell again. See how you like it. Alrighty. But yeah, this is the beginning of the story, kind of. The game is essentially taking place in the universe of our universe in 2556. It's been about 500.5 years since our year, since the year of our Lord 2025. Well, I guess 520 years almost. And this is supposed to be like a pamphlet. Sugar Skull, you son of a particle. But this is kind of like an in-game pamphlet to welcome people who wish to join the Syrian Atlas Company crew, which is a series of ships that are tasked with doing different things. Think Amazon, where you can go deliver shit if you want, but you can also do other stuff. If you are, like, more military-based, you're probably some sort of warship. If you are purely, like, ecology and research, you're probably a ship that disturbs the natural wildlife of planets that you've just discovered. You know, stuff like that. But there's also just ships that do general umbrella stuff, jack of all trades sort of thing. Because Syrian Atlas, as a company, or just called Atlas nowadays, as they've cut down on the syllables, as it were. This is what they do. They are a Earth-based company that is just expanding out into the stars. I never thought I'd enjoy doing quests and games. Keeps my brain focused. Which games? It depends on the game. Weewon says quests are his favorite shop. Favorite for a lot of games. For me, I think it depends. If I'm playing, like, 7 Days or Valheim, my main goal is to make everything super efficient in the farming. Vand for one. That's absolutely fair. And that's because all the NPCs are great too. God, I really did pick bangers. But yeah. So in here, quests, aka missions, will be stuff that you get to choose to do. Maybe sometimes your captain will yell at you and be like, no, we have to do this because we're getting a bonus. I also like the idea of letting people get little bonuses. Crafting, I also like crafting. But yeah, that's basically what you're going to be doing in this sort of story. You're on a ship. You're in space, and your main concern is to get shit done for the company and not cause them any lawsuits. And also, don't get in trouble by the Federation. There is a galactic federation of other aliens staring you down, making sure you don't cause mischief and mayhem. Because if you do, whoopsie doopsie, you know. But yeah, here I also edited it here. I have it first edition as well. The Galactic! Yeah, the Galactic. I also explain how to explore this thing. And with that, we can go look at game rules. Now, this is what I was editing last time I was working on this. I came in the right part. Insert Markiplier's company song here. We love the company. You're a great asset to the company. Asset to the company. I will say, as much as I do prefer Repo in terms of gameplay, Lethal Company has just this nice little energy to it where it's like, yeah, I'm doing what the higher powers want, you know? You know what? Actually, yeah, the whole Lethal Company Repo thing where it's like, I have to do this for my higher power, is sort of the vibe in this. Except you're doing it in space, and you're not just collecting shit, you're doing anything and everything that people have requested of you. And then you get paid. Asset to the company. Alright, so game rules. I wrote all this down so that I won't forget, and it's not nearly as long and stupid as you will find in other playbooks, I guess. D&D is egregious when it comes to page count. I think it's because they actually get paid for word count. Don't quote me on that, though, but they write so fucking much when they could have just summed up what they wanted to say in like a couple of paragraphs. So here, I've added just the basics of what you need to know. If I need to add more later to clarify something, I will. But so far, this is what I have for my game rules. These are my mechanics. So the first thing I go over is the character sheet. I want people to be able to just read through this and know how to fill it out. Because the character sheet was one of the first things I made. So let me go stare at it real quick. Yeah, so we got the crew ID portrait. And it looks kind of like a... let me pull it down real quick. It looks kind of... Oh, fuck me. I'm just spawning more windows. Hold on. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. It's everywhere. Shit, dude. Okay. Oh, nope. 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 Okay. There we go. I fixed it. Okay, so you see you have your little crew ID here. Let me bring this back down a little so you can see. And this is for your portrait. You can also have a signature. These are optional, obviously. And then we have all of this information here. Now, this whole thing right here is kind of like your license. This is your ship crew license. And then which is what that is. It's basically going to be like a card IRL that your character probably has on them. And then down here, I'm working on stats. And once I get the weapons and all that completely squared away, that all goes here. But you can see what I'm doing so far. So that's what this is. This explains what each box does. You've got your crew portrait and your signature. It's not necessary for the sheet. It's just flavor, just in case you want it there. Then you got your name. I explain where you get each bit of information for the sheet, like why are you named that? You know, all that good shit. You've got your date of birth. You don't have to add that in, but it's a good thing to do if you want to. It's based on the Earth calendar start date. And then, of course, your level. How, you know, what your level is. You need that to know how many points you have going towards stuff. Your occupation. This is your job on the ship. And it doesn't necessarily have to match with your training. For instance, you know, Leon went to school for, English, I believe. Well, I know, but you graduated with English. He's an English major. He graduated with an English degree. He could go be an English teacher, but he could also go be a publisher. He could go be a notary. He can do a few things job-wise with that training. So your occupation is what your job is. Your training is what your background knowledge is. His training would be English major. His occupation would have been, you know, teacher. But it could also be notary or, you know, whatever he needs to do that stuff. Crew ID, that is for the GM. Ship name, that is also for the GM. They will put it in. Your star and planet is the solar system you are from. The star is the solar system. Like, let's say you're from Alpha Centauri. Your Alpha Centauri star, well, that's gonna be that. And let's say you're from the second planet, so you are from Alpha Centauri B. Leon's a hella cool Hans. He is a hella cool Hans. Look at him. Handsome guy. Hehe. Let's say you're from our solar system and you come from Venus. Your star will be Sol, your planet will be Venus. Your species! You can pretty much come from any star or planet and have some sort of species that doesn't, like, line up with it because there is a lot of mingling. However, there are going to be limits here and there, and the actual species will get into that. Like, for instance, a dragon person, a Drakkar. They aren't welcome in most of space, so you probably won't be living on Earth casually. Not without a really good reason for it. And then, of course, you got your hair and eye color, as well as your height and your build. These are all having to do with your species, basically how tall can you even get, what colors can you have, and all that. Build, I don't like weight. Weight is stupid. It doesn't explain anything. You can say this dude you're playing is 190 pounds, but is that, you know, average for him? What does he look like? Is he actually just like cut muscle for some reason? It doesn't. Is he a little chubby instead? It doesn't tell you what the body structure is. So I never use weight because I think it's stupid. I use build instead. And then other information, if you got tattoos or scars or whatever. So that is how you do the character sheet. Now I'm going to bring this back up here. After that, your stat points. I already kind of showed you guys these. Strength, reflex, vitality, knowledge, charm, and faith. These are kind of based off of a handful of games, but it's also based off of Dark Souls, because first and foremost, all of this stuff is sort of based on Dark Souls. At least mechanically for stats as well as the leveling up system, and I'll go over why. So this is just your physical attributes. Strength is your physical strength, reflex is your physical quickness, vitality is your physical health, and then these are your 3 mental stats. Knowledge is your mental strength, charm is your mental quickness, you have to speak fast in order to do crazy shit, and faith is your mental health. And all of these boosts your secondary stats. And you can see I put the little pictures of the stats here. I did start adding pictures because it looks nice, it's cute. These are your secondary stats that are connected to these main stats. And these are what you use typically for combat. These main stat points are usually used for non-combat skill rolls. Vin's mental health, -9. Oh, man is a woof. So, a defense, it's boosted by strength, and it's how much damage you negate from an attack. Now, understand I said negate. AKA, if you get hit for 10 and your defense is 8, you only get hit for 2. It'll take it away. It's basically blocking all of that aside from whatever gets through. Speed! This is how many squares you can move. Now, I know in D&D it has the whole, oh, each square is 5 feet. Your character can move 50 feet. AKA, you can move 10 squares or whatever. That's fine, I guess. But here, I don't need to specify how big my squares are. They're just as big as an average person. And typically, if you think about it, our shoulder length is actually usually only 3 feet or less. So the squares are technically 3 feet, sort of, if you're thinking about it in that way. So there's argument to be like, well, the squares could be 3 feet, the squares could be 5 feet, maybe they're 4 feet. Fuck that, chuck it in the garbage. They're just called squares in my game. I'm not going to be doing the whole, you go 30 feet, per turn in your battle map. Squares only, thanks. Like if you're a human, for instance, let's say you're human. You're only moving, let's say, 6 squares. That's how I'm going to be doing it. So, health. That's how many hit points you have before you fall unconscious. The squares are 1 dozen long. I'm gonna cry! I am actually 5'1". I could lay on a D&D square and be fine. But yeah, granted, understand, I said unconscious, not dead or dying state. In a lot of games, when you drop your health to 0, you drop like a bag of dicks. You are, in effect, pretty much dead. Either you have actually died, or you are, you know, in a death-saving attempt to make sure you don't die. 3 sauce packets. 3 sauces long. 6 graham wafers. In my game, you just get knocked the fuck out. You lose consciousness. You're not dead, you just pass out like an idiot. However, there are things that can kill you. If your health drops to its negative amount of its like positive amount, for instance, if you have 100 and you drop to negative 100, then you're dead as fuck. However, you can still technically come from the brink. But you will need hella technology to do that, and your ship might not have that kind of technology. Dread screaming, hey Leon. What? He said, what do you want? Bonkus. Yeah, bonkus. But yeah, I already have the health stuff written down below as well. Oh, wait. Dread! Are you being a butthole? I'm staring at you. I'm looking at you. I'm trying to blink at you, but it's not working. Squinting. Ah, I need to fix my neck. That hurt. Ah. I'm gonna get a sip real quick. Me first. That's your thing, not Vandals. What? Are you talking about my mechanics on health? I am once again tired and confused. I'm not stealing Vandalt rules! Also, if some of my stuff does sound like Vandalt, it's because me and Leon have talked about it ad nauseum before, and would be like, this mechanic is much better than this mechanic, and we've held on to it. It's not stealing if you're married. It's not stealing if you've already talked about it years in advance. And it's a part of other game systems you've made together. Trivium! Anyway. But, what was I doing? Right, the next stat. Health is bolstered by your vitality. Also, reflex boosts your speed. So, for instance, if you have a reflex of 2, and your speed for your species is 5, you have 7 speed. You're fast as fuck. You can become super goddamn fast in this game if you want. As well as vitality for health. Health ups your health. MLP dailies done, I think. Nice! So with knowledge boosts focus, and focus is used to perform certain knowledge-based actions. I don't like to call it spells, because spells and magic is a boring concept to me from a generic fantasy standpoint, but I have flavored it in my own way. Magic in this game is less World of Warcraft and D&D, and more Bloodborne. You don't get as many stats that you can play around with, like fire and lightning and nature and all that. You get to throw tentacles at your enemies. You get to maybe grow into an abomination. Maybe you're calling your eldritch deity to crash into your enemies. Who knows? That's that's the thing about magic. Also, focus helps with technology. If you're using technology, for instance, if you're using a crazy ass laser gun that you made yourself, you need focus in order to make sure you can actually shoot the fucking thing. And it kind of drains very special technological machines. Incantations. This is a holdover from ELDRIG Classic, but it still fits here. Incant is if you need to start saying stuff or chanting stuff very quickly, and it is boosted by your charm, aka how fast you can talk, how well you can talk. How many spells can you pull in an action? Willpower is the last one. It is boosted by your faith, and it's how much damage you can take to your brain. Are you dealing with something only the stars above know the names of? You better roll a fucking willpower check, my guy. Make sure your brain doesn't lose its shit. So those are the stats, the 6 main stats and the 6 secondary stats. Now, you will get skill stats. They're just called skills in this game. Let's say you go fishing a lot and you have a fishing skill for some reason. Let's say you have a gardening skill or like a botany skill or whatever. Those will come with either time or training or your background. Let's say your background and training was medical. You will have medical checks when you hop on the ship because that's what you were trained in. Let's say you're a little sneak thief in your childhood and you still know how to do it. You can pickpocket people while when you first join. Those will be stuff that you've learned from your past. And they're going to all be custom. You don't need to worry about that stuff. Let's go fishing in the local nebula, catch a plasma squid. Bro, those fuckers would be huge. Don't eat it. So yeah, custom skills will be rollable. They will be non-combat skill checks. And you will sometimes be able to combine them with these 6 stats. So, I'm burping, sorry. Let's say you have to make a, wall jump check, like some sort of parkour check. I think parkour would be a better term for it. I believe in D&D it's called acrobatics. It's where you can, see how fast you can jump. You can roll that with reflex. So, each custom skill you have will be able to tie to those as well. Let's say you're making a medical check. That's also paired with knowledge. So if your medical check is, +3, and your knowledge is 5, you get an 8. Tastes like bubblegum chocolate banana. Those are 3 flavors that should not be put together. Sugar Skull, no! The hell flavor, Leon. Yes. The hell flavor. Baby, can I ask something of you? Could I have half a cup of tea? And I mean half a cup. No ice. It's in the fridge. See if you can use one of the little clear, texture cups. Well, because they're the smallest. I don't want a whole lot of tea. That's a lot of sugar. I think I'm upsetting him. But me wanting tea, so. But yeah, that's how we do it here. So, dice rules! I wrote out which dice we'll be using. Desmond-sized cup of tea, shot glass. But yeah, the dice, the way they work, it's going to be your standard 7 array. The die 4, die 6, die 8, all that. I'm a beer bee, gotta get some nom-noms, nice, and get dressed so I'm not freezing my ass off. I feel that. Get yourself a blanket. You read my mind. But yeah, so I also went over what dice do. So for instance, die 4 through die 12 are probably going to be used for different weapons and ways of attacking, various sizes and swing speeds. The larger the weapon, the higher the dice rolled, but at the expense of taking up more actions. So you will have 2 to 3 actions, depending on how you play your character. You will gain more as you level, but obviously not right away. You can also use abilities to give yourself more. All the good, that good stuff. And the reason I did this is because fuck movement action. Fuck it. Just turn it into a regular action. I know that sounds like Vand again, but hear me out. I came up with this mechanic first. I did this in mine first. But yeah, no. Fuck movement mechanics. If you don't want to move, you don't have to. You just have 2 actions. You can stand there on the battlefield and keep doing stuff. And sometimes that is what you want to do, mechanically.
Thank you for the dink! Why do you look so mad at me? Do you want to kiss as your reward?
He no wanty. So after that, D20 is used for non-combat skill rolls. You're not going to be rolling during combat usually. Not when you're fighting. Why are you grumbling? Babe, you get to roll your dice, just not the D20. But yeah, so your D20 is for non-combat skill rolls. And reactionary rolls. We will be going over that in a moment. The D100 is for loot and rolling percentages. They can be rolled with disadvantage or advantage. Can't believe Desmond said no dice ever. The dice are right here! What do you mean? That no was aggressive. But yeah, I also explained that the game can have advantage and disadvantage, just like any others. Oh! It's me, Banui! And then I go through here. So, aspects of gameplay. There are 4 kinds of ways to play this game throughout the campaign.
Thank you for the fat sugar. Oh, God, jeez! My ponytail!
Look how floppy it is. Whoever threw me Sugar Skull kept on petting. That's God's little soldier right there. Alright, but yeah, aspects of gameplay. There's 4 different like mechanics of gameplay in my ELDRIG Nova. So because it's a TTRPG, there's obviously going to be roleplay. That was so powerful the stream lagged. Yeah, kinda. Y'all know how to roleplay. You're all a bunch of fucking nerds. You talk characters and you run around the world going blah, 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 blah. But you can also talk to NPCs, scam NPCs, try to kill NPCs. You could do a lot. Just, you know, within reason of what your character would do. Y'all know what this is. I don't have to explain it. It's right there. But it's here written out in a couple of paragraphs, just in case whoever is reading this doesn't know what a TTRPG is. That's what I wrote with that in mind. Next, you have interstellar travel. This is a travel mechanic that lets you fly throughout space, and sometimes there will be situations where you either have to have space combat or space exploration where you do not crash into the debris and the meteors, please. You will have to traverse asteroids and go through maze-like zones in space. If you don't know what a TTRPG is, hi, welcome to Sentience. Hi, welcome. You have just learned how to be human. But yeah, so interstellar travel is basically going to be that. And everyone who has different roles on the ship get to contribute their stats towards this interstellar travel. For instance, if you're military, you are on gun, and you are shooting things. Human, 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 human. Human, 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 human. I still don't remember what that joke is from. I know I made it a long time ago because my character was disguised as a human in some sort of game. But I do not remember what the joke was. V-Rising. That's right, it was V-Rising! I dressed myself up in a hood, and I was walking around going, human, 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 hello, fellow humans. That's right, it was. Okay, thank you, Sugar. I remember now. That shit's funny. But yeah, you can also make the ship faster if you are in the engineering. So every roll on the ship counts towards something. Gross titty? Oh, close tete! There's an enemy in Expedition 33. Spoilers, I guess. There's an enemy in Expedition 33 that's name is Grosse Tete. It's French or some shit.
Gross titty.
But Leon calls it gross titty because that's kind of how it's spelled. I still watch those VODs because you, Salem, and Ari were fucking adorable. We're fucking dorks. That was fun. That was some of my like favorite times. Are you good? Leon? Honey? He made a noise. It was squelchy. I didn't know what that was, though. Anyway. After interstellar travel, there is also planet exploration. This is when you are on a... I call them battle maps, but it's a map of some sort that you can walk around in and fulfill your different missions. Hearing that far away gross titty cracked me up. Yeah. Gross titty. Nom nom acquired. Nice! Eat those nom noms. Nom 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 nom. Also, ads should be cropping up soon, so should I wait? I don't want people to miss this stuff. I could dance to the music for 3 minutes. But yeah, planet exploration. That's when you get a cool big ol' map to walk around in and find shit, loot shit if you want, craft some stuff out of the shit you stole, I mean acquired, is mac and cheese with chicken. I love mac and cheese! I love chicken too! Dude. Got a fucking meal of the gods. Lilith.
Not everyone has the money, and I understand that. I don't even have the money.
Shit's tight right now. I do not hold any of that against anyone. Just have money. Wow. Lilith. Mr. Moneybags over here. I see how it is. Not all of us can have that dope haunted cabin money, I guess. You okay, babe? Why are you crying? What? Oh, with the minis? I wish I had a dope haunted cabin money. Dude, same. You know those, like, Facebook, like, stupid, things where it's like, this house is super mega haunted, but if you stay the night, you get $1 million. What do? I'm like, I'm shaking hands with a fucking ghost for the next 12 hours. Jonathan? Like, what do you mean? You get to push this button and kill your dad, but you get $10 million. Fucking joke's on you, he's already dead. I'll blow up his body and take the 10 million things. Wow, that sounded really insensitive. Listen, my family is not the best. Especially not the motherfucker. It's okay, you can laugh. Jonathan, yeah. It's okay, you can laugh at my dead dad jokes.
Don't clip it! You can laugh at it, but you don't have to clip it!
Jared, you put those nuts down right now. Thank you for the pet sugar skull. Anyway. Yeah, planet exploration will be maps of the different planets. Maybe sometimes you're on a space station. Maybe sometimes you're in the butt-ass wilderness.
Fuck you!
That's all I heard. I'm laughing with you. Ah, excellent. Good. What did I write here? Oh, that's right! And depending on what planet you land on, you're gonna have to prepare. Think Monster Hunter. If you're landing on a stupid-ass ice planet, fucking grab hot drinks, you fucking idiot. Hot drinks really get you. You gotta remember the song and drink your hot chalky while you're running around on fucking Hoth, you know? Hot drinks! Thank you, Lil. You know what? We're already here. Y'all know what's about to happen.
Coffee, decaf, tea, and hot chocolate. Those are the hot drinks that you serve, so get set. Hot cups come in 2 sizes.
minutes. Coffee's holding time is 30 minutes, that's so long. You can stay down there for it starts to taste too strong.
Hot, careful when you pour it. Hold it steady upon the counter, let it set. Pour it in until the coffee reaches the line. Pop a top on it, gets a lid every time. Wendy's coffee tastes so fine. Hot drinks really get you going. Warms you up when you feel you're slowing. Wendy's, we always serve it right away. Have a smile and have a nice day.
Anyway. Y'all know what it's about. Okay, let me adjust my my older playlist. He just doesn't like. My BF cannot for the life of him drink hot drinks, not even hot chocolate. He says he has no clue why, but he just can't. He just doesn't like it. Is it the temperature? Maybe he's like, wow, I cannot drink liquid if it is warm. I mean, some people are like that. But yeah, there's a hot drinks. What was I saying? Right, planet exploration. We already went over that real quick. And then finally, combat mechanics. I had to write all this stuff out. So this is where things get a bit different. Combat mechanics is when your character gets into personal fights. This means it's not anything to do with interstellar combat. The mechanics for that are different. Interstellar combat will be covered with the ship stuff. If I need to, I'll put it in here as well, but for now, I don't see the reason why I need to. It's like that. I'm kind of like that. It depends for me, though. I can drink hot chocolate just fine. Anything else, though, I can't do it if the drink is even, like, slightly lukewarm. Even if it's room temp, if it's not, like, blasting ass cold, I'm like, I need it. I need it to be freezing, thanks. But, yeah, so this is combat when it's a person versus person. You're shooting at each other, you're beating each other with space swords. I don't know what you'll be using. And, the mechanics I have added in are... that... I know that... the, woo! I know, what is that? That's from another song. It's a stock sound, I think. Also, hi, Astrid, welcome in. Only reason he'd drink something hot is if it was really good coffee. That is fair. Absolutely fair. I can't even drink coffee. I don't like it. It tastes weird. It tastes like burnt beans, which is what it is, technically. But I can't do it. I don't like beans. I don't like the burnt bean taste. So yeah, with combat. How are you, my bat friend? I'm good! I am just covering all the mechanics that I've written down for my TTRPG. And then I'm going to be filling in whatever I need filling, or maybe you guys will notice something I didn't cover, and you can ask me how that works, and then we'll workshop it and see how it works. For him, it's not about the taste. For me, it is. I can't do it. I'm assuming for him, it has to do with the heat. Some people just can't drink hot. Some people don't like their shit cold. I know Leon has a cousin who drinks water with no ice. And it's like, how the fuck do you manage that? Like, I can't do that. I've drank water without ice before, like room temperature, and I'm like, I can't tell the difference between the water and my spit. This is disgusting. I hate this. And it's just... Anyway. I'm a seasonal warmth cold person. That's fair. Isn't that normal? To want to drink water the same temperature as your mouth? No. Not for me, at least. If my water is even a little tiny bit under frozen, I hate it. Fair. I can't do room temperature. My water has to have... Like, the whole cup is filled with ice right now. The whole cup. The ice can melt over time and I'll drink the ice. I love ice cold water. But I can't do it. I can't. I need to have a temperature dichotomy when I sip it down, otherwise it's gonna freak me out. Alrighty, so mechanics of fighting. Let's cover that. I can drink room temperature water, but I like it with ice too. I can, but I don't prefer it. I have to sneeze. Oh god. It's not coming out. Fuck me. I crunch ice sometimes. Ah, you got pica. Me too. Dude, it actually got pretty bad. I had to get fillings on the bottoms and tops of my teeth at some point because I just crunched on ice too much. So be careful when you do it. Yeah.
Don't bless me before I sneeze. Now I can't sneeze at all.
Christ. Alrighty, so mechanics of fighting. So this is how you go about this. Uh-oh. Yes, you need my opinion. Told you about a few times about the story I'm working on. In class, I was debating in my head about if I should keep it encompassing all supernatural things like cryptids and ghosts, or I should just focus on one or the other, and I wasn't sure. I say do all of them. It gives you a lot more wiggle room if you have a lot more variety, and you can just not work with the stuff you don't want to cover. So if you want there to be ghosts, and werewolves, and cryptids, and mothmen, sure, go for it. They're all technically supernatural beings, at least to me. I'm not that bad. I had to go 2 years without crunching ice because braces.
Oh, ow.
I can only imagine. I've never had braces, but I've known plenty of people who had, and they don't look fun to have on the mouth. Don't they like cement tiny pieces of metal to your teeth and like use wire to like pull them together? Oh, I can't. That shit looks painful. Alright, so how do you choose who goes first? In most games, you'll usually roll initiative. Now, you can still technically roll initiative if you want. I'm still having a hard time thinking of a villain. That's fair. You might not need to worry about a big villain just yet. Just focus on maybe aspects of the world or story that you want to focus on. They glue it, yes.
My teeth hurt thinking about that.
But yeah, I say if you can't think of something, focus on the stuff and flesh out the stuff you want to focus on. It's basically how they work. It's a manual, slow way of aligning the teeth, and it still works.
It hurts my mouth to think about.
Hi, good morning, Salem. Yeah, I've never had to have braces, but I've known a lot of kids that did. The glue tastes funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd irritate me.
Alrighty, so in my game, like I said, you can roll initiative if you want. I'm sure it would be like your roll plus reflex. If it helps them making it a screenplay script and not a book, because I have a lot more ideas for it being like segmented episodes versus chapters, I think the type of story I want to tell works better with an episode format, because I can do like filler episodes with small little adventures instead of always building towards a big thing. I usually do something not really similar, but I do this thing where I write out scenes in my head. I don't really write out dialogue or like how characters are exactly posing or, moving, but it's about a paragraph of an entire scene that I want to see done one day. And I write out what the characters could say to each other, but I don't have actual dialogue boxes or anything, and I just let it go from there. They have to shave between your teeth too, and it feels like they're pulling your teeth out.
Ah! No! Why are you doing this to me? Go cake, please.
Oh, girl.
I'm very aware of my teeth.
Anyway. So, like I said, you could do regular initiative if you want, but the usual way to do it in mine is the person who initiated the scenario, the combat scenario, is the one that goes first. So, let's say you and your crew are walking through the jungles of some sort of weird-ass untamed planet that you've never seen before. one of your party members suddenly gets their legs snatched into a fucking trap and they get yanked up into the fucking trees. It's their turn. Congratulations. What are you gonna do about the fact that you are stuck in a tree and 5 monkey creatures are now descending upon you to try and eat your face off? I will save Penguina, but I don't know what to save. So that is how it normally goes. After that, you go round robin. So if you're at the table, whoever started it, you can either go from right to left or left to right until it gets to the GM, and then it gets back to them. You just round it. If it's on a website, that song was perfect. Ding. Bing. Desmond is small. I'm gonna cry, Dread. But yeah, if you're on a program, like for instance, we use Owlbear, and it has you in a alphabetical order. You just go down the alphabet. You just, let's say fucking Travis at the bottom gets caught in the snare, and then he gets yoinked up into the trees. It will then go to the next person below him. Let's say there's another lady below him named Xena or whatever. She'll go next, and then it'll go to the very top, which is the GM, and then it'll go right back down the roster. That's usually how I work it. It makes shit super fast. You don't have to worry about rolling initiative, taking down numbers, and when the GM is doing all of his creatures, they all go on the GM's turn. No creatures in between players. It just makes shit a lot faster. Now, this is optional, but it's how I'm going to be running it. Save your teammate for the bear trap. Duh. Nah, let him stay. Keep him there. So, once you are all in initiative order and you are ready to go, you have, by default, 2 actions on your turn. And on each action, you can do the following. You can attempt to hit a target. You can skill check something. I use the D&D app. Fair. So it's easy. That's fair. I think Owlbear has an initiative tracker. It does have an initiative tracker. But I don't know how to do this. Bold of you to assume I take initiative in anything in life. Wow. Let me see how to do this. These are crew members, not... I'm trying to figure out how I'm doing this. It says select a character to start initiative. But I don't know how to do that. Do I just like myself? Hold on. Oh, does it not count me? Babe, get in here real quick. I need you in here. I need to see if this works. On Discord, we use Area or whatever it's called that links to your D&D app. That's fair. I'm not going to be using a D&D app. I'm trying to figure out how to work this thing. But like I said, you could do it either way. Whatever fits better for you. But round robin is... Oh, bless you, thank you. I'm trying to find you. I'm sending you a link. I forgot I sent you those. I want to see how these can work. Because I have something called initiative tracker on my Owlbear, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it to track. Oh no, it's 2020. Oh no! Okay, you should be in here. Yes, you are. Yeah, it still says I have to select a character. I don't know how this works.
Think of it the stretchy wings, Dread.
Let me look it up. Owlbear initiative tracker. Okay, I think I see what it needs me to do. Hold on. Ah! What? Why are you freaking out?
He's blurred.
Be nice to my boy.
Well, no, he was blurry, and I was like,
Okay, but I added him to initiative. How do I roll for him? No, I added my boy to the... I got a 19. Nice. So, babe, if you look over here in the initiative tracker, you can see that he's there. I don't know... It's saying... Oh... I'm trying, it won't let me do anything. It's because you're doing it, I think. Well, that's still manual. That's still kind of annoying. Okay. So yeah, you can do it, but you don't have to. Okay. Thank you, sir. You don't have to be here. Yeah, you can hop out if you need to. So, I was just in my owlbear testing things. I want to drink this foam bath. It looks delicious. Please don't! Do not the foam bath. That's how, things get wild. Alright, so I'll add in later that you can do initiative order using reflex as your initiative counter, but it's not necessary. So your 2 actions are all right here. Like I said, you can attack, you can do a skill check, you can use an ability. You will be either getting spells or abilities based on skill trees that you will have. That will be written down later. You'll get the suds. That sounds awful. It smells like lavender though, and I don't drink flowers. Okay, good. You can also use an item, like if you need to bandage yourself or heal yourself, or you can move around the battle map. So if you have 2 actions and you want to, let's say you just got stabbed real bad and you're bleeding out, you can use a move action to piss off and hide somewhere, and you can use the use item ability to wrap the shit out of the wound before you bleed out to death. Because bleeding out, having status effects on you, it can kill you. If you are knocked out and you have status effects on you, the status effect will keep going. Just because you're unconscious doesn't mean you're not still bleeding to death. So, it's usually a good idea to make sure, like, statuses are cleared quickly. Especially the ones that will get you harmed. So, yeah, right here it says this means you can choose to attack twice. So if you just feel like swinging in with the big dick sword move, you can attack twice if you want. You don't have to move. You can attack and then skill check. You can attack and then use an item. You don't matter. You can use 2 items. These are just things you can do on an action. You get 2 actions, do whatever you want. Movement action is dumb. Having a free action is also dumb. They're all just actions, and you get 2 to 3 depending on your character and your training, and then you get more as you level up, depending on how far you level. I'll have to think about that. And in order to attack, if you're using the attack ability, you just roll the weapon die. You don't need a die 20 to see if you hit. If you roll, let's say you have 2 daggers, so Naidari could swing twice. Yes, she can. So also, different weapons do different things. Most weapons are 1 action. However, the bigger ones are 2 actions. So if you're using a huge fuck you sword that no human being should be swinging around, it'll take 2 actions to swing, but you're hitting fucking hard. That being said, if you're using tiny-ass weapons that do 1 die 4 damage, they technically count as half an action. That doesn't mean you can't use another half an action to do another action. That's stupid. But it does mean you can have 2. So if you have 2 little daggers, they both count as an action together because they're both half actions. So it'll just have to do with the weapon itself. And when you go and look at them. This is not covering actual weapons yet. Give Ven a chainsaw. The horse will constantly be going off. Just rainbow colors while they're vibrating. Everyone gets this in Bandit level 20. Yeah! You get action points. For mine, you start with 2 actions, and that's because it covers the quote-unquote movement action and the attack action, but you can do whatever the fuck you want on your actions. And you will get a 3rd one, and maybe even a 4th one or a 5th one as you level up. Level 40, you now have 3. Yeah. I remember back in Vandal, when you got an action per 10 levels. When I was level 20, I had 2. I was level 30, I had 3. Whatever. That was Vandal 1.0. The big one, yeah. But yeah, that's how it works. So if I have, let's say, 2 die 4 for my daggers, and I roll a 1 on both, I miss. So if you roll a 1 on your weapon, you just fucking whiff it. If you roll a crit, however, you crit. So this is how I want it to go. Let's do this. Let me pull this out. So this is my current owlbear rodeo for the game. These are my NPCs, don't look at them. NPC interaction will be visual novel style, by the way. I will be drawing the characters to, like, talk to you. Y'all have seen this lady before, so I'll just do this. She'll be there to talk to you and say hi. It'll also have backgrounds for, like, a quote-unquote visual novel style. And then you could talk to, let's say you want to talk to the doctor. There she is. But, yeah, that's how my NPCs are gonna work. But here we go. Nope. That's the button I want. I want pretty dice. I'm gonna make them pretty and big and blue, or maybe gray, so it'll be easier to see. Let's say I got my 2 daggers, and I roll. I got 2 2s, I believe. That is a 2, and that is another 2. But let's say I roll. Trying to get it to do what I want. That was a 4. That's a 2. I'm gonna do this. I just missed. Let's say I have, I love the visual novel style. I'm glad. I want it to be visual novel styled. But yeah, let's say I'm swinging a standard short sword or like a baton or some sort of little axe. Like a little electric axe that I've got going on with me. And I just swing it and I rolled a 1. I fucking missed you. I fucking whiffed it. I beefed it real bad. Let's try that again. I just got a crit. I wish I planned that. I did not. If that's the case, that means I get to roll again. And I rolled a 3. So I did a total of 9 damage with my axe because I crit. Now let's say for some reason I rolled this became a 6, and I roll it again, it's another 6, and I roll it again, and then I get a 3. You just keep going as long as you're critting. That's how I want my crits to work. I want you to be able to just keep on going until there is no more crits to be had. Now, it will depend on each weapon. Like I said, you will have to like study how your weapon works to see how critting and missing and you know, all that stuff works in tandem together. But by default, that's how it works. Which is why defense is also pretty important. Defense negates whatever you roll. So if I have 2 dice, 2 die 4, and I'm rolling them, and then I both get 4 on them, and then I roll a 3rd one, and then I get a 2. That's 10 damage in total. Let's say the dude I'm swinging on has 7 defense. I only hit him for 3 damage. That being said, let's see. Yeah, no, if I think I have to crit with both weapons if it's a 2 die 4. I don't think I should be able to crit with just one. That would start getting annoying, I think. Or I don't know. I'll play with it. I'll play with the mechanics of how the daggers work. I don't want them to be too bullshit, but I don't want them to be underwhelming either, so I'll figure it out.
But yeah, that's how it works.
This also works with abilities. If you are using an ability, and you roll a 1 die 6 for it, or a 1 die 10, or whatever, and you crit it, you get to roll again. That's just how my crits work in this game. So, defending. Once it is no longer your turn and it is now the enemy's turn, you have reactions as well as regular actions. If you have 2 actions on their turn, you have 2 reactions. That means, which is what it says here, when it's on a player's turn, they have access to reactions as well. This will be as many reactions as they do regular actions, which means they will start with 2 and gain more as they level up. Reactions are used for an enemy's turn, or even an ally's turn, to parry, dodge, or block a target. So let's say you have an ability that lets you do a move action to jump into the fucking way of someone as a reaction. You can tank it for them.
Cecil!
However, remember, you only get 2. And it's on the GM's turn. Cute hugs. So if there are, say, 3 enemies that you are up against, and the first one is coming after you, and you choose to block it with one of your reactions, and then a second one is coming after your friend, and you jump in the way to block that as well, you can no longer react to the third enemy. You have used up your 2 reactions, so that's what this is saying here. Each reaction type has a different rate of success. So, if you're rolling your d20 to react a certain way, if you're just blocking, you probably just need to roll a 5 or higher. Like, it's pretty easy. It also depends on the creature or enemy you're fighting, but usually blocking is a pretty safe bet. And think of it, like I said, this is kind of based off of Dark Souls. Think of it in the Dark Souls mechanic universe. Whenever I play Dark Souls, reactions are everything for me, at least. Because the enemy AI is very smart. Some of them, at least, is very smart. And you are looking for an opportunity of attack. And to keep yourself from getting fucking bludgeoned to death. If you see someone lining up an arrow and firing it at you. It's very slow if it's Dark Souls 1. If it's Dark Souls 3, it's a little faster, but you can block in time. You can fucking shield that shit. That is what I'm trying to emulate in a way by doing these mechanics. And you get 3 things. You can either block it, it's basically you're raising up whatever shield or big-ass weapon you're using. You can dodge it, which will have your character move diagonally across a space of the enemy that they are dodging, and you will not get hit at all. Blocking will take a little bit of your damage. Dodging will not. Parrying, you do damage back. So remember, like I said with the Dark Souls, you can block it with your shield, you can roll out of the way, or you can try and go in for a parry attack. It's when you hear that twing noise, and then you stab your hand into their bodies. Or your weapon, or whatever. I'm thinking Bloodborne. I'm thinking of visceral attacks from Bloodborne, please. Parrying in Bloodborne is very easy to notice, because it's when an enemy is at their weakest spot of their animation frames in whatever attack they're doing, and you shoot them with your little pistol-y-poo, and they fall the fuck over. And then you can run in for a visceral. That is technically a parry. Dodging is usually harder to do than blocking. Parrying is harder to do than dodging. So each one has a different success rate. But you will be doing damage to them in parry. And yes, critical hits work on parries too. If you roll a 1d6 and you get a 6 for your parry, roll again. Do more damage. So, you will stay in combat until the last target falls, or your enemy team is downed, or one side tries to surrender or flee the scene. You will not be able to kill all of them at some point. Some of them will be like, oh fuck this, and run. Because that's what smart enemies do. Sorry, I burped. If the players flee, you have to make a successful reflex saving throw. You gotta get the fuck out of dodge. If your team is downed, you will be found and resuscitated by the rest of your ship crew. Because remember, you don't die when you pass out. You don't die when you die. HP does not mean 0 have hit points dead. It just means you no longer can stay the fuck up. You're knocked out. Knockout and death. Here we go. We'll be covering that now. Once you're resuscitated, you will need to roll a die 20 to determine whether or not you've gained a permanent scar. AKA, you could get really fucked up in this if you're not careful. Now, the rate at which you get scarring is a little low, but you could get really fucked up. If you've been brought from the brink of death, you will need to instead roll to see if you have suffered a permanent injury. So, let's say you've been knocked out, right? You've been knocked out. it's cool, whatever. They resuscitate you, they bring you back, and you're like, oh, cool. Aw, man, I have this really bad, dumb little scar on my face now. Let's say you've been stabbed in the gut and left for dead instead. Let's say you're on the brink, right? You're about to die. Or you possibly have died within the last few minutes, and the crew comes and picks you up off the bloody ground. They bring you back, but now your side always causes you a bit more pain than what you wanted it to. The nanobots couldn't repair everything. And now you've got some sort of permanent injury. Or, even worse, what if you got your hand cut off? For a while, you're not gonna have a fucking hand. Until they can make you a robotic one, obviously. But that is considered a permanent injury. You can get nanoparts and, like, you know, technology to patch that shit up, but it's never gonna work as good as your natural body. And you might have some adverse effects. When someone's dropped to 0 health points, they are knocked out. This means the character is unconscious and cannot perform any actions. However, they are not at risk of death until they are hit beyond their 0-point limit and take negative amounts of hits, up to their health limit. AKA what I was telling you earlier, if you have 50 HP, being dropped to 0 means you go unconscious. If you take negative 50 HP past 0, you are killed. You are fucking murdered. However, you can still be brought back. But you will suffer very adverse effects if you were, you know, not just knocked the fuck out. Status effects! I'm still working on status effects. This is like the stuff I've written down for it, but I need to fancify it. And what I want to do is draw little icons for the status effects, because they're going to be put on your minis in the game. So status effects can be applied by weapons, or the environment, or stuff that gets thrown at you via either spells, or let's say someone put a fucking Molotov cocktail and just yeeted it at you, you know? Status effects, I want them to do different things. I don't necessarily like when there's, well, for me at least, I want different status effects to do different things. So, poison, for instance, it is a dot. It is a fun little tick that takes away your body health until it is cured. Not until you're unconscious. Remember, it can still keep ticking if you're still poisoned. You're just unconscious. You're not cleared of statuses. If you're bleeding, it ticks if you move. Meaning if you try to do a move action, you will bleed out. You have to just sit there and patch yourself up. Or sit there unconscious and just slowly start bleeding out just naturally. Burning. That shit hurts. It will cut your healing effects in half. You can't heal as much because that shit's on fire. Freezing. Your speed is cut in half because you're too cold to fucking move. Shock. You are stunned. You are completely unable to move because you're being fucking zapped. And then rooted. You can act, but you can't move action. Maybe if you move or attack, you could still bleed. Well, yeah, if you're moving, you're bleeding out. You either sit there and try to cure it off, or do non-combat actions.
Hi, Himiko, welcome in.
And then madness. You're fast as shit, but you're confused. You've lost the ability to tell friend from foe. There will be more status effects as needed over time, but so far these are the ones that I can think of that are the most, like, prevalent. Like, not just moving, but if you also try attacking. Well, because you're still moving. Like, I mean, like, moving your body around. How it goes?
It goes good.
Which, it'll be written out in here once I have everything completely done. But those are the mechanics so far. If I need to add more, I will. I do plan on running... I do plan on torturing Leon a little bit. And shaking him around and being like, hey! Get in the jar and let me test everything! So I get to see how all of my mechanics run. Because I'm gonna use Leon as my guinea pig. Water. Alright, so those are the basics of my game mechanics. Like I said, if I need to add more later, I will.
Next is species. Now this is really fun. I added cute little guys here, and it makes me very happy. Hi, Renetta. Ooh, thank you for the tea.
I have tea. I can drink tea.
Tea, yeah, guinea bear. He is now a guinea pig. Pick him up. My little guinea. Oh, all the hugs. Everyone's out here hugging. Cute.
Alright, so these are all my species. These are all my playable species, at least. Now, some of them are not made equal from others, as far as Atlas is concerned, and we'll go over that in a minute.
Yeah, hugs. Cute, cute, cute.
Oh, and have a good lurky, me. So, these are quote-unquote mostly allied species in the galactic arm of Orion, which is what this is called. As you know, we are in a spiral galaxy, so our galaxy has like different arms and stuff because it's spinning like a little space top. And we are in something called the Orion arm. So that's what I'm referring to when I say that. Meaning most of these guys are still in the same galactic arm. Most of these races are not from another galaxy. Our technology does not let us do that yet. We can barely get out of our galactic arm. Like, that shit takes years. Decades, even. Maybe the longer-lived races that can do that have probably explored, like, a lot farther, but our race, in this story at least, cannot reach those capabilities yet. However, they can still go pretty far. And I'll go over that in a minute. Okay, so species names will either be black or red. If they're black, it means they are fully allied. If it is red, it means they are unallied. However, that doesn't mean they're unplayable. It just means you're gonna probably get discriminated against or not be considered like a full member by some people. Because Atlas will hire on an individual basis. They're not gonna judge you based on your race, but overall, your race's reputation still hangs in the balance, and we'll go over why. It also means that you have not fully shared technology with the Galactic Federation. Now, United Federation, sorry. Galactic Federation, United Federation, same thing. This is a federation of aliens that humans aren't really a part of, but they've been sharing their technology at least with this federation. Federation ain't giving them shit. Because that's like giving a toddler, you know, a fucking nuke. They're like, we're not giving you our tech. Not like that. If you need a bit of help, sure. But, it's basically like saying you are no longer a part of the Prime Directive. AKA, you are no longer a species that we don't fuck with. We hang out with you now. You're kinda cool. If you're unallied, you are not Prime Directive, but you're also not an ally. You're considered kind of an enemy, sort of. So that's kind of what all of that means. As you can read here. So, here's the humanoid species. These guys typically have one head, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, you know, like your standard human. Probably not a tail, 2 arms, 2 legs, usually 4 fingers, but who's counting, really? And there are 5 in total so far. There is humans, obviously. Us, our silly little meatbag selves. And there's a lot of us. There's a fucking lot of humans, because humans are kind of like the cockroaches of the galaxy. They are fucking everywhere. They are also very fertile compared to a lot of the other races. We're also probably the most horny, now that I'm thinking about it. So, yeah. And willpower. Humans have a fuck ton of tenacity and willpower. And they are adaptive, extremely adaptive to their environments. Syrians. They are pretty blue elves. And look, I got little icons for them. See human? And there's a Syrian. These guys have the opposite problem of humans. They are struggling with their genetics, and by the time, I want to say 2250 rolled around, they only had like 2 million of their people left. And they went, holy fuck, this is terrifying. And they actually went out into the galaxy to try and find some sort of genetic help. Thankfully, humans are actually really close neighbors. Sirius, the Sirius star, is only about almost 9 light years away. And Syrians only took about 9 years to get to us. And they're like, please help us. You have genetics. So Syrians were probably one of the first aliens that we had physical contact with. Now, this was 200 years in our future, so we've already had spacefaring technology. We'd already started colonizing Venus and Mars. We've started terraforming a little bit. And at that time, humans were already starting to suspect that there was alien life out there. And when they finally picked up on the signal from Sirius, they were welcoming of aliens by then. So that's why these guys are here. They usually live on Earth as well. Syrians are just as abundant on Earth as they are on their own planet. Nowadays, they are about 50 million. But that's still kind of low compared to the amount of tens of billions that you find in the other alien species, including humans. So that's their situation. Zetas, Zeta Greys, aka the Grey aliens, you know, the little guys with the big head. These guys are not little, they're very tall. The little ones are more like drones, or robots, I guess. These guys are nomads. They fly around in big city ships because they have no home. They're also not super aggressive, so it's really hard for them to keep a colony before another more aggressive species drops in and goes, we like it here though. But these guys no longer have a home planet that they come from. They tore that fucker up. They're basically what's the word? A bleak reminder of what happens if other species do not take care of their planet. Or themselves, because they will nuke themselves to extinction. That's kind of what happened with the Greys. Now they're just aimless nomads. The Gobles! The Gobelings, they are goblinoids. They're called space goblins. And they're actually very chill. They're very friendly. They're commonly merchants and, like, little nomads, but with a purpose. They're not just drifting around aimlessly. They just want to meet new things. They want to get along with the whole galaxy, and they're like, yo, you look sick, let's hang out. That's their whole shtick. They're really cool and chill. Very friendly. And most races won't fuck with them. While some races still kind of fight each other and raid each other, most won't fuck with the Gobel. Just because they're just that fucking chill. And if you do fuck with them, there's been rumors that every other alien species nearby will fuck your shit up. So people have learned not to fuck with them. The Orkron are great. They're raiders. They are my space Vikings orc people with horns, and I love them. They lost their planet due to another alien species moving in and going, hey, this is nice, we're gonna take it. Thanks. So what these guys did was, okay, fine, fuck you. We're gonna take your technology and travel the stars and go make us everyone else's problem. So that's what they do. They have a very dense, I guess, quote-unquote Viking culture, a raiding culture, after hundreds of years of not having their own home. Some have settled down. Like, it's not as lucrative to do what they do anymore. But there are still some pirate ships out there waving their flags and being like, yep, we're here to take your stuff. So those are all the humanoid species, and you can see their cute little pictures. The animalid species. These are like where they're not quite humans. They have animal traits, they have animal heads, tails, fur, feathers, all that good stuff. First, we have the Proxians. I call them cave cats. And you guys got to watch me actually make them on stream. And they're adorable. They have 3 pairs of ears that help them hear / see because they have echolocation. They can pick up on the subtle rumblings coming from their echolocator. Thank you for the pet sugar. Oh, and thank you for the sip. Let me get a little drink of water. I'm drinking tea. Oh, it's so cold and nice. But yeah, so these guys have in their skull plate right here. Oh, we all got a call. It sounds like Mama Soulguard. What? Oh, are they coming over? I asked if they were coming over, and he made a face at me like this. Ooh. Like he did a ooh. Ooh. Like that, kind of. But yeah, these guys are adorable. They don't have eyes. They don't have cones, but inside that plate where the eyes would be is their echolocator. And on the dolphin, I believe they're called the melon. It's that big bulbous thing. That helps them hear and see, in a way. And their whole deal is, they got found by aliens and have been offered up into the Federation because not quite their technology, but because of their cave minerals that they have that can act as a very, very good fuel source. They have these types of quartz, these naturally occurring quartz that it's almost bioluminescent, and its cleavage structure is unique in the fact that it can generate energy. So these guys are like, hey, can we have those? So these guys have been entered in because of that powerful new technology that they were able to make with their raw materials. And sometimes you'll find them on ships. Because Proxians want to go out and, you know, see the stars. Quote unquote, see the stars. Lyrans. Lyrans are extremely old lion-like races. They're called Lyrans because people assumed they were from that star. I think it's called Lyra. They are not. That is just one of their colonies. They have not told people what their home star is, but, you know, they are millions of years old, while humans in their current iteration are only about 300,000 years of age. Humans are not that old in the grand scheme of evolution. Lyrans are millions. They are an old fucking race. As such, they act like they're the grandparents of the fucking galactic arm. They're like, yeah, back in my day, whatever, and you, why are you doing that? Stop, get off my lawn. You know, like, they're the grumpy, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're gonna listen kind of race. They think what they say is law. That's not quite true, but that's the energy they give off, you know? That they think they're older than you, therefore they're wiser than you. Even a 20-year-old Lyran and a 20-year-old human, a Lyran will still be like, yeah, well, I'm smarter, you know, like, they'll have that air of authority to them. Not to say they're pompous about it, but it kind of comes off as annoying and stupid if you're constantly feel like you're getting talked down to. What? Oh. You stole it! We once stole his dad's credit card. Don't steal your dad's credit card, babe. I know you're
I
not.
just made a joke with all this. Like, damn, I can't believe I
You're like, no, don't steal my credit card. Anyway, the Lyrans are great, though. Avians! Avians are birds! They're bird people! They're very pretty. Some can look like peacocks. I called them the flaunty peacocks of the Galactic Arm. They are very much mediators. They are chill. They're like, hey man, why can't we just instead not blow each other up? They're who you send when you want negotiations to go very well. You're like, please, can we not blow up half the galaxy? That'd be cool. Thanks. Bird person. Burson, if you will. Yeah, bird person. They're bird people. I could actually do this too. I could pull this up real quick. Are they like bird person? Oh, from Rick and Morty. That's who you meant. I don't know. Maybe? I have seen bird person in Rick and Morty, but I haven't watched Rick and Morty in a long time. They look like actual walking birds. Remember, I'm basing like half of these aliens after actual quote-unquote aliens in ufology, which I can go over here in a minute. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. let me find it. Hold on. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Is everything good here? Are we good here? We're good here. Okay, so I was making more aliens. That's what you saw. Cecil, you're a whiner. Did you know that? Whiner. So I do have these races drawn. So let me scoot this over here and we can go over them as I do that. So up here you can see I've got... hold on. Let me do this. Maybe this will help. I'm trying to make it to where you guys can see both. So you've got humans right here. You've got the Syrians. You've got the Zetas. Like I said, they're really tall. And you've got the Gobles. They're really cute and short. I could also show you the men. I'll show you the men.
What, baby boy?
Cecil is meowing. Did you know Grandpa might come get you? He's gonna pet you, dude. Grandpa is his least favorite. And then we've got the Orkron. And I made this tab orange to kind of show that they are unallied. So that's what I mean with these. And then the Animalids, we've got the Proxians, the Blind Cave Cats. We've got the Lyrans. They're called Skarma here, but that's just a ELDRIG Classic holdover. And then the birds, the avians. They are altruistic mediators that come to de-escalate serious dangerous situations. Literally, they are the dudes that you send in when you don't want shit to blow up. If you want shit to go very, very well, you will send them. Also, there's the females. The males are usually a lot brighter red or brighter blue or purple, while the females are usually a much more diluted color to that. Just like how our birds actually work in our universe. Next is the Nautiloids. Just like the Orkron, they are an unallied race. Orkron have the red text. Orkron, because most of their race is considered so volatile and like mostly just they're stereotyped as raiders that like don't want to get along with other races, so they are unallied. They also don't share the technology they have, which is, funnily enough, old technology. They use technology that fucks with other people's tech because it's old. It's kind of like, say for instance, we have a really strong supercomputer and people know how to hack it because they've had years to learn how to clear through it, right? But then you're just introduced to a fucking fax machine. And you're like, what the fuck do you want me to do with this? It's like the technology is so old, they can't do anything with it, but the Orkron have learned how to fuck with it. Hi, unlucky. How you doing? So, a good example of this, for instance, let's say you have a shield that's meant to obliterate all energy blasts, which is what most guns come with. You're like, teehee, I have a counter energy blast that can stop your shooting, idiot. And then the Orcron comes in with a fucking revolver and just blasts you with lead. Like, that's basically what they do. Their tech is so old, you can't counter it because your stuff is meant to counter the new shit. Food agenda. Fat sauce, aka fatty pork. Slow cooked to render out the fat and made into a sauce. That sounds really good. I'm not a pork guy, but that does sound really good. This music's really dope. Hold up. It's kind of loud, isn't it? Or is it just me? It's a little loud. I will be switching to the next playlist. Let's do that. I'm listening to video game bangers. That's all you've been hearing. It is good. Ooh. Did you bring enough to share with the class? I tease, by the way. Alright, so the next unallied race in the animal lid list is the nautiloids. These fucks are tall. Here's a lady. Here's a dude. You can see the women have fatter hips and smaller heads. The dudes have bigger head crests and, you know, smaller, lighter bodies. They are about the same height, though, and it's hard to tell the difference between them, unless you are a part of the species. And, yeah, nautiloids are shitheads. For the most part. Now, the younger generation are not shitheads. Some of them have started going, maybe what we're doing is bad, because these guys are notorious for slave trafficking. These guys snatch up warm-blooded species, usually humanoids. I think it's simple to tell. Just ask them to take off their pants. Whoa, piranha! Whoa! Whoa! No, it's easier to tell if they turn their head to the side. The female's head crests are very small, and it doesn't really curl in, and while the male's is huge and does this big spiral in the back. So it's easy to tell from, like, different angles and stuff. But yeah, these guys are a cold-blooded race, and they have started getting into the habit, which it's a very long habit, it's like a 1,000-year-long habit, of taking warm-blooded races as pets. They will grab you up if you're, especially if it's cute and small. Does my method not work though? Oh no, it works! Well, no, it wouldn't work. They both have innies. Males have to extrude. It looks the same. Maybe the males are a little more frontal, while the females is, more vertical with the floor. But, if you were only given a second to look, it wouldn't work. Not like that. But yeah. Now, the younger generation of nautiloids are starting to see the error of their ways and are like, hey, can we not enslave people, please? That's kind of rude. And a few of them have started fighting against it. Also, the Federation, it's illegal to do that sort of stuff, and the Federation's basically the galactic authority. So if a nautiloid is caught trafficking, they are pretty much just no chance. You're gone. Like, also it depends on the planet they're taking people from. But, like I said, there are people fighting back against that, even in their own ranks. That being said, it is hard to change minds. And a lot of them do still prefer having warm-blooded species as their companions or their, quote-unquote, their pets. Nowadays, whatever new pets, quote-unquote, become part of that, they have usually consented to that. So it's like if we asked Cecil to be our cat and he said yes. You know, kind of like that. Little kitty! Granted, he can't tell us or not. He can just come up to us and rub us, or not. Hi, baby! Hi, baby! Oh, little boy. He's being cute. But yeah, their favorite is the shorter humanoid races. I feel like they really, really like goblins. They love the gobles because they're very cute, but also, it's very hard to get a gobble because every other race is very protective of them. So they usually just focus on humans and Syrians. Maybe the occasional Orcran, but Orcran are very difficult to control. So yeah, that's what nautiloids are about. If they are, I like the Nautilus have claws. Yeah, they have little... They have 2 fingers, a thumb, and long claws on them. Alright, let's get into the reptilians. And remember, you guys got to watch me do all this. Now, these are red ones. That means these guys are completely unplayable right now. Such as this cute guy. Look at him, he's all fluffy. And I drew another alien species recently. I'm gonna keep that hidden for now. Okay, you know how I am. I can't keep it hidden forever. Look at this guy. He's really cool. I'm not gonna explain his deal yet, but he's really cool. I drew him off stream, and there's also a lady version, obviously. And then maybe they look like some sort of alien, like spider monkey peacock thing. I don't know. Listen, I need more 4-armed races. Now, I've done a couple of editing for my reptilians. Originally, there were going to be 5, but I've removed one of them because they felt a little redundant, so I took them down. Ads came on. Could you repeat what you said? Oh, I said no, you can't tell because they both have slits. Maybe the males are more frontal and the females are close, like more vertical with the ground, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell from just that.
What, you? Hi.
Oh, little Jan's boy. My cat is being so sweet.
He being so sweet. Are you so sweet?
Hi, baby. I love my cat. Alrighty. But yeah, let's go reptilians. Like I said, I was going to have 5, the Drovens being the 5th, but I have removed the Drovens for now until I can come up with better mechanics for them, because the Tauramians are already here and they're a little redundant. Sag. You're fine. And these are the Tauramians. They're right here. They've got little head crests on their head based off of the, what is it called? The Ceratops? Not the Triceratops, just the Ceratops the Ceratoptera family, where it has like the different head crests on it. Maybe some have horns. They are very pretty. If you go look at Ceratoptera head plates, it's really cool. Let me see, how do I spell this? I'm spelling this wrong, I think. Oh no! Ceratoptera! I spelled it correctly. It just didn't want to show genus. Oh no, this is not what I wrote. Hold on. Sarah. I'm trying to remember how to spell it. Nope, that's an earwig. I am struggling here to spell things correct. It's like what the Triceratops family is. Triceratops means, oh, Ceratopsia. Ceratopsia. That's what they're called, apparently. It's the family, and they have really cool head plates. I'm trying to find different versions.
Cecil has stuff on his tail. Cecil, what are you doing?
Is it wet, or is it just, like, garbage?
Little kitty.
Alright. But, yeah, these guys... Oh, huh? Oh, okay. These guys also have little mouthpieces and little parrot feet. I give them parrot feet. As well as 4 arms for climbing. These guys are expert climbers. They were also once very technologically advanced, and because they're so fucking war-happy and aggressive on both themselves and their other galactic neighbors, they kind of nuked themselves to the Stone Age after a while. They fucked themselves up. So on one of their planets, they just kind of sit there and they're literally back to the Stone Ages. However, since the Prime Directive has been broken and they are now talking with the Federation as well as Atlas... Sorry, my throat's a little dry. Let me get more drinky.
Cecil, that is not an invitation to come over here. I moved my drink and my cat went, oh, drink is out of way. That means I can walk over here. You cannot have my tea. I am being fucked with. I am being fucked with so hard. Kid, go away. Fuck off. That's all. No. Go on. Boop, boop, boop. Go on. Thank you. Alright. Back to business. Yeah, these guys pretty much nuked themselves to the Stone Age, but they're coming back. And they're coming back with the help of Atlas because they went, hey, you guys have really cool tech. Do you maybe want to share? And they're like, we have what? The Taramians are not dumb by any measure. They've recognized that Atlas wants something from them, so they've been very careful with trade. And they've also been relearning, their old technology. So that's what they're having to deal with. So, Saurians are the next reptilians. These guys are cute. They are a very, very, very allied race. And they're actually found on Earth a lot. These guys have started settling on Earth in an attempt to make sure there aren't any other bad actors in the reptilian playing field on Earth. And they're good little boys and girls. They are a genetic offshoot. They were created. I believe it is called genetic uplifting or evolutionary uplifting, something like that. Uplift genetics, uplift evolution. They were a lizard race that were like kind of in the, I want to say early stages of man, where we were still ape, a la like Lucy, Australopithecus, you know, like the really old, sort of human, not quite, kind of ape-like. Like, that was about what these guys were, but for the reptilian stage. They were walking on 2 feet, they were starting to become more upright, but not quite, and they were still more adapted to that specific biome they came from. And then the Drakkar showed up and said, let's add our genetics to you. And then they did, and they uplifted their brain capacity very quickly. And then they went, now we're gonna just be your gods and enslave you. The Saurians didn't like that, but they eventually got free from it once they were smart enough and managed to use technology against their masters. And nowadays they run around trying to free other races from any tyranny that might happen. These guys are actually very commonly associated with cracking down on nautiloids. Because they're like, hey man, that's not cool. Now, next on our list is an unallied race. These guys were also an uplifted genetic program from the Drakkar. However, they are a lot more aggressive. They are very mean. They are snakes. They are protective, territorial, and they told the Drakkar to fuck off. They were literally just the rebellious little brother of the Saurians and said, no, you're not gonna do any of that enslavement bullshit on us. We are smart now, and we're gonna whoop your ass. And they did, and the Drakkar were like, well, fuck this, we're leaving. And I love them, they're great. Finally, the Drakkar. While these guys are unallied as a race, they will be hired in Atlas on an individual level, for one reason and one reason only: to deter other Drakkar from doing dumb shit. I want to say 1 in every 10 are cool, maybe. Maybe 1 in every 20. But most of them have this wild association with being better than most other races because they are also long-lived, just like Lyrans. They are old. They are an old species. And they have a belief system that touts that they are superior. They are mostly tyrannical and imperialistic. However, like I said, some, once in a while, are cool and will want to help instead of hinder, and will be there specifically to sabotage their corrupt brethren. And then we have the insectoids! I love the insects. Also, here's the Droven. They're currently unplayable. I will bring them back if need be. The mantises! The ladies don't have boobs, but I still put
put a bra on them so I wouldn't get yelled at. These guys are very cute. They are mantids. They are healers, first and foremost. They are very medically advanced. And they're one of the Federation, like, poster children. Now, the Federation is a bunch of alien races all put together in some conglomerate of hanging out. Not everyone is super high-ranking in the Federation as far as getting the good stuff is concerned. These guys are up there. They're with the Lyrans, and they're with the founding aliens that are not playable either, called the Arcturians. And I think I'll be drawing those here in a bit, because I do want to draw my Arcturians. They are the big, benevolent, you know, dudes at the top of the line that are supposedly the ones who started the Federation millions of years ago. This thing has been going on for literally over 1 million years. Humans weren't even a fucking thing when these guys were at the peak of their brain power. So it's like, I guess you gotta kind of listen to them, you know? So the mantids are among these races. They're up there. They're one of the important, like I said, poster children. Way up there with the Lyrans. The Arachni. These guys are a little feral. If you have spider phobia, do not look. Also, hi Wolf! Thank you for the pat and the save. I'll save it, why not? There we go, it's shaved now. So the Arachni are babies! They're so cute. They're spiders, so if you don't like spiders, don't look. But I've based them off of jumping spiders. Specifically, what are they called? Peacock jumping spiders. So they have very vibrant, pretty colors. This guy is actually pretty dull compared to the colors that some of the dudes can take on. And this is a female. The females are usually a lot more dull brown. That's a common trait you'll find in most species. And the males, here we are, he's like a lighter color and he's stripy, very pretty and stripy. If you just look up a peacock jumping spider, actually, I'll do that. I'll just ward you guys. Because peacock spiders are adorable. They do these cute little dances, and they're very sweet. They are actually related to the Mexican jumping spider, aka the spider that everyone has as a pet. Because jumping spiders. Those things are adorable too. They're also slightly based off of wolf spiders, at least as far as their eye placement is concerned. So if you are terrified of spiders, don't look. Got it? Don't look. Don't look. Ready? Okay. So if you're scared of spiders, tab out or close your eyes for like 5 seconds. So 3, 2, 1. There's the boy. They're based a lot off of these guys, where they have cute little stripes, fuzzy legs, and 2 big ol' eyes. So typically spiders, I'm gonna close that out. Typically spiders that have a higher range of intelligence will have these 2 big ol' eyes. On lunch break at work, came to see what you were doing and check in to see if you're okay, because you're my friend. Oh, thank you. I am doing good. We are just covering some Worldbuildies Wednesday stuff. I'm going over ELDRIG Nova, my TTRPG. Specifically, I'm going over everything I've written down, both on and off stream, to cover everything and review it and make sure I have everything I need. Oh, this one's cute! Sorry, I'm looking at little jumping spiders, and they're so cute! I like when they have the little petty palps on their face. Anyway. But yeah, I've also based them off of the wolf spider. The wolf spider also has 2 big ol' eyes in the front of their face, but they also have 2 eyes at the bottom of their face, and then they have 2 more on the sides of their head, so they can see very well. That's good, and they're cute, especially Lucas. Yeah, Lucas is a jumping spider, I believe. Or is he a tarantula? I think he might be a jumping spider. I'm glad Lucas the spider exists, because maybe it'll let people, like, calm down about spiders, because they really are sweet little babies. Tarantulas can be mean. Tarantulas are actually pretty mean, but that's just because they're blind. People don't understand that the rate of aggressiveness in a spider has to do more with just, they can't fucking see. So tarantulas, they don't know, they can see, but they can't see very well. So the smaller the eyes, the more aggressive the spider, usually, because they don't know what the fuck is coming after them. If they feel vibrations or movement, they just fucking go for it, because they have no clue what the fuck it is. I brought you this. Oh my god, there's so much stuff! I can't hold it off. Fuck, I dropped it. But yeah, meanwhile, jumping spiders and wolf spiders are extremely intelligent. And curious. They're very curious. And that's because they're raised to not make webs so much as they are to go out and actually hunt their food. That's why they're called wolf spiders, because they hunt it. They don't make webs. Well, they do, in their dens mostly. But it's not how they catch their food. I believe goblin spiders are also sort of like that. Goblin spiders have huge fucking eyes. Don't look at a goblin spider if spiders already freak you out. Oh, goblin-faced spider. That's what they're called. Faced. Yeah, don't look at a goblin-faced spider if spiders freak you out, because they are high on the spider scale. Even they kind of make me kind of freaked out a little bit, but they have huge fucking eyes. And that's because they're hunters. I think they use their webs. They're the ones that like make web nets, and they hold it in their hands and they wait, and then they snatch it with their web. It's really cute. The creator that made Lucas the spider said that Lucas is a jumping spider. Oh, okay, cool. Now we know. But yeah, so creatures with the big ass eyes are hunters, and that's what I base these guys off of. I want them to look sweet and friendly, and they are very curious. They're curious little creatures, and they make a lot of cool shit with their webbing. For those of you who don't know, spiderweb is actually surprisingly strong for how thin it is. If we were able to weave it in a certain way, apparently it is stronger than Kevlar, supposedly. Now, how strong would a web be if it was made by a spider this big? Their shit is strong. They can make really, really strong fabric and, like, protective gear. So that's why they're here, for the most part. They're there for gear technology and webbing and crafting. And also, they just want to wander around the galaxy. They think it's really neat. Very curious creatures. Alright, so the unallied insects are the Kolbesh. Now, these guys are my termites that I made such a long time ago now. I even, like, wrote out some of their language and stuff. As well as, like, what their burrows look like, because they're termite people. They've got, like, big ol' termite mandibles on their mouths. They've also got 2 fingers and a thumb, just like the arachne and the mantids. All of my insectoids will always have this. And they're not allied. And that's because they have a lot of issues with Atlas. Atlas in their early days were not nearly as careful as they used to be, and they broke Prime Directive a lot. These guys were one of the ones that they broke Prime Directive with. They promised them technology for, like, other stuff. You ever heard of the Mind Goblin? My Goblin, anyway. But yeah, the Kolbesh have had a very tenuous relationship with Atlas, and the Federation, so they're not, like, particularly allied. They don't wish to share their technology, whatever it may be, underneath their, stuff. And they don't wanna deal with anything. No! Not you hunt me! That's right, I fucking did it. You know my tricks. I know all the tricks. I'm the old man that knows all of the kids' tricks. I was there when the scrolls were written. What's the quote? Don't cite the ancient rites to me, which I was there when they were written. That's what it is. Such a classic. Mind Goblin. Yeah, it's a magic card, isn't it? It's a quote-unquote magic card. Leon is posting it in VC, I think. Yeah, the Mind Goblin. What's the other one? These nuts. Yeah, it's 2 cards that they put together. It's fucking great. Alright, so after the Kolbesh, Oh wait, why is there 2 dots here? Connect here. There is the Prometheans. These guys are Mothmen. I love them. I love cryptids. At least I didn't say Sockon. Yeah, Sockon these. Anyway, here's the Prometheans. They're wonderful. You dragon? Dragon these? There's a lot of these jokes. But yeah, these guys are Prometheans, aka Mothman. They really just want your flowers and nectar. They are out to get that sweet, sweet sugar high, and they will not rest until they do so. Now, not all of them are chaotic little gremlins, obviously, but they've got like this excited, energetic thing to them. They're like, whew, sugar. See, that's why I love this community, because we share the same humor. Listen, my humor can either be very complicated or very simple. And there's no in between.
But, yeah, little moth babies.
Here's the ladies. They also have wings. It's just, you know, I did not have the space to include their wings. But that's all the races. Let's move everything back into place. There we go. And I will be adding more as things happen. If people find a race that is willing to join after the Prime Directive has been broken, blink, 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 blink. After that, I will have pages that let you go in further. So here's humans, for instance. Below that is human right here. I don't have any pictures on here yet, and I don't have any of the info fully filled out. That is because it's going to be visual. Thank you for the sip. Let me get a sip of water. Nemmy. But what I want to do for the most part is draw all of my stuff. Now, obviously, this is a picture of Sarah. She is Sara, S-A-R-A, aka the Syrian Atlas, regional assistant. She is your database. She is your connection to the company itself, and she's the one that will write up your reprimands if you do dumb shit. She usually is with your captain. Has anyone ever told you that you're adorable? Leon does. Leon calls me adorable a lot, actually. He thinks I'm cute. But yeah, these are just screenshots of the actual, like, playbook to show people how to navigate. Basically, if you want to go through the pages, you come over here and click on these. If it's closed, you can't see them. If it's, you know, it's open, you can. Happy Pride Month, by the way. Yeah, it's gay month! Let's go! I need to draw all of my OCs that are gay. I need to draw them holding their flags. I did that, like, 5-6 years ago, and it was really fun. I spent the whole month, like, drawing 1 to 2 characters a day, and just drawing the gay ones, and I think I might do that again. I might draw portraits, though, because those were, like, half-body, and it took me forever to do. Here, I'll show you later. But yeah, this is how to navigate. You can either click these in tabs, or you can just keep scrolling down, and it'll let you click to the next one, which is really cool. But you can also just do this. Game rules. These are art pieces I did. This is a stock photo that I grabbed from the dice and just plopped it here. Gotta go to work. Of course! Have a good work! This is a art piece for Star Trek. I believe this is an art piece for Star Wars. So not all of it is stuff that I've drawn, but I'm also not, like, selling this. This is just for me and my players. But eventually, I do want all of the pictures to be pictures I've drawn. I think that'd be a lot of fun. However, I also want to have pictures that are just showing people what the fuck is happening. I also want to draw status effect art pieces, which is why this isn't quite done. But that being said, as you can see here, I also drew these little icons. I will need to be going in and drawing different pictures of humans and other species that we're going to be dealing with. This is the old human template that has all the info in it. I didn't draw this. This is a piece I grabbed off of fucking Google Images. That is a placeholder. This is all the info that I need. And this is what I'm going to be doing with the visuals in this one. So I will be having portraits up here, but I also want to have pictures here to show you the exact colors. Now obviously it's not going to be like an exact, oh, you have to use these, because that's fucking annoying. But I am going to be providing some sort of, oh yeah, this is the typical color my species are, because it's not just going to be humans. There's a lot of creatures, and they come in a lot of colors, so. Think of this as like a first iteration template for myself to make sure I get everything down. So there's skin colors, eye colors, and hair colors. Some of these might not be applicable because some creatures might not have any eyes. Or hair, you know. But I also want to include blood color and footprint. There is going to be mechanics in play for maybe certain missions where you have to find someone or hunt someone down, and you will need to parse through that information. So that is going on there. And then we'll have cultures. This is just where you were raised and what skills you get for being in that culture. For instance, let's say you're from Mars. Yeah, let's say you're from Mars and you're really good at cultivation. That is just everything you did was having to do with terraforming and cultivation. You will have skills based off of that. You'll have one or two. Meanwhile, let's say you're a cave cat and you come straight from Proxima, your home planet. You've lived in a cave your whole life, so you're pretty good at chilling out in, like, the ship because you can see everything very easily because of your echolocation. However, if you're outside, there's not a whole lot for your echolocation to catch. You will not see the sky, no matter how hard you try. So your skills will be different. Especially if you've lived in a cave your whole life and you're used to interacting with items from your cave. Let's say you're the dude that can recognize energy sources because you can pick up on that warmth. Hi, Cupcake, welcome back. That's the skill you've picked up. So that's what cultures and lineage are going to be for. It's just going to tell you what extra skills you get, aside from your training. I also feel like if they double up for some reason, like let's say you're really good at botany when you were on Venus, fuck it, you were like growing a really big garden in one of the sky cities, and you've learned how to work horticulture like a motherfucker. And then you are put through training as a horticulturalist, and now you're just the plant guy, right? I feel like it should double. Bonding or botany? Botany. Botany. Is botany. Horticulture. It plant. So that's kind of what I want for cultures and stuff. Also, it'll show you what... This is Persona 5 music. Da ba do. Da da da. Ba da na na. That's Persona 5, right? Yeah! I think it's Daytime Shibuya? Listen. I know my music. Oh yeah! Tokyo Daylight. There it is. Alrighty, so that is everything for the species list. I will be going through this because I'm going to be drawing it. This is just another template. This is for me to copy, like, as I need to. I can do this. Duplicate, and I'll just keep duplicating as needed for when I start adding the species in. And like I said, this is just old info that I'm holding on to so that I can write in here whenever I'm ready. Equipment. This stuff will be written out later. I don't have to do it right now. Equipment is your gear and weapons and items that you can use to either heal yourself while you're on the field or keep yourself safe from the environment. Say, you know, you're in a desert and you don't want to die. Need cold drinks. Not to put it towards Monster Hunter again, but you know, you're gonna want to cool yourself down. So that's what this is. Also, I've written down what the weapons are going to be doing as well. And once again, based off of Dark Souls, the weapon will have a stat if you want, and you can upgrade it as you see fit. How and where will depend on the ship, I believe. Ship! Where I'm going to be covering the ship as well. I still need to work out all of the mechanics for how ship will work, how ship do, but I do know how it's going to work for interstellar travel as well as combat. You can use it to fight shit. There will be ship battles. And each person in the ship will have something special to do to make sure the ship does not fall over. Because when you're having interstellar combat, you are all one unit. It's almost kind of like you are in control of a part of an animal in a way. And you are trying to all make sure that creature does not die while you're sitting on it. Depending on the role you are will depend on what you do for the ship. I mentioned it earlier, but if you're part of the military or security program, you are on guns. You are firing back, so your roles and your stats will reflect that. If you are in navigation, you're the dudes that say where it goes and how fast you go. If you're in engineering, you can actually make it go faster. You can make it turn harder or quicker. You can, quote-unquote, dodge check easier, like whatever the ship version of that is. You can have science and medical on shielding and repairs. You can, everyone's going to be putting their skills to work on ship battles. So that's what this is going to be about. That's what the ship tab is going to be. It's also going to explain different ship types. I drew a bunch of ship types, I believe a couple of weeks ago. Let me go open that up real quick. The music is bumping. So I drew these different ship types. I also wrote down what different fields would be in the ship and explain what they do. What was it? That's for me. That's another note that I took. And here's like different ship types. So this will also be going into that list. That way you guys can look at different ships and go, oh, I know what that is. That's a medical ship. That's a speeder ship. Stuff like that. However, there will be ships that you don't recognize. You're gonna have to have fun with that. It might not be here. So that's what this is gonna be. I'm gonna write up here. There we go. And I will be filling all of that out later. Okay, so yeah, equipment here. And this is just my template and basic notes that I want to take for how I want the game to work. So that is everything I have written down. Now I'm going to go through this and see what needs more visuals, because I do want to start drawing some stuff. This is a little lax on visuals, but that's fine, I guess. Noise. Yeah! So let me bring this up here, and we're going to start working on more visuals here. Oh, I forgot you got the big wingies. Let me close you out. This music's good. Alright, so game rules, it is a little sparse here and there, but like one of them is just straight up because they're covering the character sheet and I don't need to like add any visuals to that. Roleplay, interstellar travel, planet exploration. I should probably add something to combat to make it look a little nicer. Maybe a shield for blocking, I don't know. And I want to draw icons for status effects. And there's two reasons for that. One, I do want to share it on the playbook itself, just to give people a better, visual. But I also want it to have... I want it to be able to be put on a character in my owlbear. So apparently owlbear has this thing where you can, like, attach status effects to characters. They're called attachments. Ooh, you can even have starter sets. And it'll tell you what's like... It's like a status ring on this, but I'll figure out what I do with it. Yeah, it's really cool. And I think I want to go through and add status effect icons. Yeah. Although, I think I might need to wait for those, because I do want to do something called... I want to make tokens. Now, I'm not going to do the standard... portrait tokens, unless people really just want to use portrait tokens. What I want to do, this is what I did for my last campaign, I want to, like... Here, let me get a little, little pretend visual right here. So let's say I'm drawing a goblin mini, because I feel like it. This is going to be my token mini, for my goblin. Here's his ears, here's his hair, and here's the rest of his hair. And then here's his shoulders. Here, I'm gonna do it this way. Shoulder, shoulder. He's angry. He's angry about it. And then I'll give him his chest. And let's say he's got like a little fist right here. And then he's holding a weapon right here. Let's say it's a gun. He's got a gun. And then here's a hip. Here's another hip. And here's his leg, and here's his foot. And here's another foot. I want to do something kind of like that, where it's like a top-down. I want it to look like the mini is being looked at from the top. I have some of these drawn already. I could probably show you. But he's got a gun! He's got a gun. Here it is. So this is an art piece I did for an ELDRIG campaign I made a while back. Actually, I'll share two of them. This is a character which is supposed to look like you're looking at him from above him. He's got his little nose, he's got his weapon, he's got an axe to grind. And it looks like you're looking at him from the top. Same thing with this lady. It looks like you're staring at her from above. So that's kind of what I want to do with my little tokens for my players. And other NPCs that I'm making. Let's say I want to draw this really creepy new monster that they have to fight. I'm gonna give it really big, creepy-ass, gross eyes. Gross creature. Let's give it, like, big-ass horns. Let's give it spiky head, you know. Here's its creepy-ass head. And then, it doesn't have a nose, but let's say it has a creepy-ass suction mouth. And creepy lamprey teeth. You know, grrr. And then at the bottom, let's say it's a big old caterpillar, right? And then it's got, like, claw hands. I'm just drawing something, like... Rawr. The drawing is really fast and funny. Alright, now let's say it's scootalooting along, and then its tail goes this way. So it's just got, like, sections of tail behind it. Like so. And now there it is. There's the creature. And it's scooting along the map. That's how I want to do this. And the battle maps for the ships will work the same way. You'll have a ship. Let's say this is your ship. Here it is. You're hanging out. Here's its warp thrusters. Here's its, Oh no, these would be its thrusters. This would be its warp drive. Here's its warp... Huh? What? Oh, nice. Wee1 made a noise and it scared me. So let's say this is your ship. Beep, beep. And then here's some creepy-ass, like, fucking pointy, like, thing of a ship, and it starts coming in on you, you don't know why. This is, this is what I'd like to do. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is draw my races that are unplayable but a part of the universe nonetheless, so that I can have them as a reference point. Where is it? Oh, those are my feet prints. Oh yeah, and here's like a footprint. What's the word? Template. These are what the feet prints look like. Those will maybe come in handy at some point. I don't know. You don't know. That's my list. That's nothing, I don't think. That's literally nothing. It has nothing on it. Okay, so I believe these are the Arcturians. Let me turn those down and turn off the humans for the time being. And let's get to drawing. I guess I could do this. So I don't freak out Twitch, even though it's flat chest. So these are the Arcturians. They are the supposedly oldest race in the galaxy. Not just the arm, but in the galaxy. And people don't know where they came from, who they are, or what their deal is. Only that they are in charge of the United Federation of Planets, aka... Oh, wait. This is not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. And people don't know how to talk to them most of the time. They're almost like gods, where it's like, I don't know where, I've never seen one, but they do exist. Occasionally you can find one, like maybe once in your lifetime, but if you are regularly in contact with an Arcturian, you're either really good or really bad. So these guys are typically a bit difficult to talk to or get a hold of. At least if you're a lower life form, as they see it. Not to say, once again, that they're pompous about it, but it's certainly very much a I'm older than you, so you should listen to me sort of energy. And it's like, oh, well, okay. So these guys have big-ass brains, big-ass heads. Their heads are huge. Their heads are bigger than ours, and they're smaller than us. They also have this lump on the front of their heads that allow for telepathic communication. They can talk to each other through this third eye sort of brain capacity. Hi, Taki! Welcome in. Don't mind me, just drawing pompous aliens. Oop. Let me fix that. Also, they don't have any hair. They're completely hairless. Some people think it's because they had an amphibian lineage. Other people don't. They don't even know. They just assume they were part frog. Don't want you to look like Megamind. And they do have eyes. Zedans, they look kind of like Zedans, but Zedans are differently shaped than these guys. But supposedly Zedans could have come from them. Granted, if Zedans did, then they wouldn't be in the shit they are now, I think. There we go.
The babies.
They just have pecs. However, just like Zaydens, whenever they're pregnant, these can round out and turn into breasts, because they are also hermaphroditic. If they are amphibinoid, like, what's the word? If they are from an amphibinoid lineage, then it probably comes from the fact that frogs are also technically sort of hermaphroditic. It's just a matter of turning off and on the genes. For instance, males can become females and females can become males in, Hi, Laros! Welcome in! But yeah, they can become male or female depending on the climate and how many males versus females they have. They can change sexes. These guys just have learned to turn on both and leave it on forever. They're also very thin little creatures. They look frail, but they could probably nuke you with a thought because of their, what's the word? Their telepathic tendencies. They could literally just blast your brain with thoughts and hurt you. They could kill you with thoughts and prayers. Looky at VC. Me made at PersonaCon. It's finally been put into art. Ooh! I will go peeky. Name Black Frost. Be nice to my boy! Be nice to Hee-Ho! I love him. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna eat my flaming hot Cheetos. You did this to me. No, you didn't. I've been itching to eat these for like an hour. Alright, time to start dying. Huh. It's so tasty, but it's hot. Hee-hee-hee-hee-ho. It's so tasty, but it's so hot. Oh, why'd I do that? It's so good, but it's so burny. It burns so good. Alright. I should actually probably turn down the... There we go. The entire meme is he says you have a he-ho dependency. Wow. He's in charge of he-hos. That's why he's a pimp. Okay, and just like the Zaydens, I'm only gonna give them 3 fingies. Also, for those of you coming in, I am working on ELDRIG Nova. I just went over all of the mechanics that I have finalized for the game. I've combed over what is not currently written down, but what I have planned for the mechanics, such as ships and weapons. But those will all be written out later. They're not necessary for testing the game. Not in a individual player situation, at least. Whew. Oh, I'm dying. Should burn my mouth. But now I'm finishing up all of the alien species that I've come up with so far. Some are playable, some are not. These guys, for instance, that I'm drawing are not playable. They are very much the authority figures of the galaxy, and the ones in charge of the United Federation of Planets. Which is what humans call it. They call it something else, obviously. Which is not to be confused with Atlas, the company you're working for. These guys are basically your galactic cops, and if you're asked to do something maybe a little that skirts the edge of the law, you don't want these guys to figure it out. That's the, that's what they are. They're the galactic popo that you have to run from. Granted, you'll never run into an Arcturian unless you do something really good or really bad. They don't show up just because. Not for a lower density life form, which is what they consider you. Now, I've been trying to figure out how to do this. I don't want to have dimensional creatures, although dimensional creatures do exist. These are all on the same plane of existence and still ride through the same amount of time. Other popular means this Persona Con is buff Jack Frost and buff Morgana, Igor and Drag, and Mara is everywhere. I'm scared. I'm scared of the memes. What else? Right, separate dimensions do exist, obviously, and there are 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, 6th dimensional beings, but that is very hard to interact with. Good luck. These guys are density beings. Density is a thing I've started doing for, like, the sapience level of a creature. For instance, if you are density 1, you are a force of nature and nothing else. You are the wind, you are the elements, you are the periodic table. That is density 1 entities. It's made up of matter, but it doesn't have any brain waves. It's a fire in a pit, you know, like, density 2 beings are creatures that are starting to get some sort of sentience, but not sapience. Your trees, your, certain animals, you're on this grid of understanding on instinct mostly. You are mostly on an instinctual level. Like, think koalas, for instance. Mostly instinct. Certain tigers. You only start to go up into a higher density once you start to gain true sapience. Let's say certain pets that have been bred to become smarter. They are starting to possibly be 3rd density. Humans and other such species like our level would be in the higher 3rd density, maybe like 3.6, 3.7. These guys would be like 5th. They're very high. And each density has to do with your sapience and what your brain can do. Density 1, nothing. Density 2, you're instinctual. Density 3, you're thinking. Density 4, you're really thinking. Density 5, you have telepathy. So, like... Or, you have telepathy. So that's kind of what I want to do here. I think that would be an interesting way to describe these creatures. I think Lyrans would be density 4. Where they have this deep wisdom even when they're born and this proclivity to absorb knowledge very fast, but they don't have telepathy yet. Their species, at least. So that's how to explain density, I think. It's not a mechanic, it's just my brain trying to figure out how to differentiate different species. And it just has to do with the age of your species. I might add density as a thing on the list, actually, so that people know what density is. Well, most creatures are going to be 3rd density, so I don't think it matters. That's more of a lore thing rather than a mechanic. Hi, Pats! Welcome in! I am doing good. I am just chilling, drawing some aliens, and coming up with a bit of lore to help myself flesh this stuff out. Come on, you. I might make a lore page where, you know, if people want to read on what the lore has... what lore I've come up with so far. I might do that, but... right now I'm not too worried about it. Sorry, I got distracted by Miku! I understand.
Oh yeah, Pat says hello, everyone. Because Pat always has to say hi to the bear. Because he's a very nice guy.
But yeah, I'm doing good. I am drawing my Alo memes. How are you doing?
Oh, everyone says hi to Leon now. Hi, Leon. Wait, I want to say hi.
I'm happy. Leon said hi to me. Alright, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4 toesies. There we go. 4 toesies. Boop. Need to put my non-teef teef on. Teef teef. Okay, so this is the Grumdle. There's nothing here, it's just a box to show me where the Grundle is. And show me where the muscles are. Twitch. Okay, so let's add underwear to this thing before I get yelled at. Doing good, just chilling at the moment. Nice! Glad you're just chilling. AKA retainers. Oh, got it. Underwear, let's go. There we go. Undewears. I'm also gonna do it here just in case. I didn't give any bras to the men, but that's fine. This isn't technically a dude. This is technically a both. They have a they. They're a he, she, both. I'm sure they have their own pronouns for themselves, but just to make it easier, I'm gonna just use the third person, like the third gender pronoun for them. Oh shit, you can reply to messages now? Nice. I'm assuming in your... I'm assuming in the, what game is that? The pony game! Alright, so the Arcturians are done. At least as far as the line art is concerned. I have another version of these guys. These are not quite Arcturians. These are Arcturian offshoots called Andromedans, and they're kind of like dicks. I'm just very slow. Oh, I finished it a while ago. Oh, yeah, you can reply to messages. But yeah, these guys are, sort of Arcturians, but they're an offshoot. They're like a more aquatic-ish offshoot. And they're absolute dicks. I kind of want them to be dicks. I like the idea of not all of the pretty aliens being good. Some of them are actually complete assholes that want to hurt you. They're like the evil twins of the Arcturians, basically. They're their evil clones. It's because they grew ears. That's what happened. You see, Arcturians don't have ears. These guys got ears. It's because that's what happened. But basically, they lost their Density 5 status because they became evil. Or maybe they never got their Density 5 status. Who knows? I just know they're bad. You want them to be dicks, or do they attach people's groins? I want them to be dicks. Look at this fucking noggin. I believe they're also called the capenoids or capensinoids, which comes from the word capensis. I believe that is a type of creature. But yeah, these guys are absolute jerks. They won't go out of their way to whoop your ass. But if you get in their line of sight, they might try to whoop your ass. Not quite red wasps. Jerkwads. Yeah, they're jerkwads. Yeah, I think it's because they grew ears. They also don't have that lump on their head anymore. See, the Arcturians have the little lumps on their head that helps them speak to each other telepathically. These guys do not. And they're more pink to white colored. They've got like almost translucent skin, which is why it's kind of thin. Meanwhile, the Arcturians are this very dark, not quite navy, but definitely this very dark sapphire-ass color. My stream lagged and you were pulling a really weird face! Excellent. Finally, you all see me for what I truly am. A fucking weirdo. Oh, I also know what happened. They have pupils. I'm teasing, by the way. I'm fucking with you guys. Also, these guys also probably blew up their planet, but for other reasons. They said fuck you to each other and said you're not allowed to live in comfort on your own home planet. It was like you were in pain pleasure. Eh. I didn't know this model could make that kind of face. I didn't know I could do that on stream. Although that does remind me, I do want to eventually get an AR kit going, an art kit, however you pronounce it. And use that fucking iPhone that someone gave me. It wasn't like a brand new iPhone, but that I don't need it to be. I just need it as a glorified camera. I need to find a stand for it. And just like, oh shit, I forgot to give these guys their fucking belly buttons. What's wrong with me? They have their belly buttons! Oh, I also forgot to close their arms. Am I okay? I was just so panicked to draw their, their bras, I got worried. My BF gave me a way better phone than I previously had. Nice! I'm gonna give them male nipples. Mipples, if you will. But I'm still gonna cover them with underwear. Because Twitch likes being ridiculous. There we go. Alright, pet the guys. Pet them. I should probably actually just give them their colors. Because I'm gonna show you guys how pretty and blue they are. Oh, this is more Persona music. Okay, I got dizzy doing that. Am I okay? Alright, let's go look at my race, references. Because I do have Arcturians saved as to how I picture them. Or, yeah, Arcturians. To me, they kind of look like this. Except short. Let me try for a better picture. This is also a really good picture. This is... I wish I could remember the artist. The other one I showed you was just a 3D model. My old phone kept randomly switching off and the phone system wouldn't work, but the app I was stuck on would work like if I was on Netflix. I could pause and play, but I couldn't go back like because the 3 buttons wouldn't work. That's fucking weird. But you guys can understand what I'm doing here with the Arcturians. I just wish I could like know the artists. Oh, this is an artist that has their name on it. This is Vashta's stuff. I really liked the, like, bump on the head as well, so I incorporated that. I don't want their eyes to look exactly like this. I'm going to be working with their eyes to be a little different. So they're like a powder to deep, pretty blue. I'm thinking maybe more... This is sadly AI generated, but I did find it on Pinterest. I did not generate this myself. If I ever show AI art on stream, please know that I did not generate it myself. I snatched it from the internet because if it's on the internet, it's public domain. But it is also a good sort of reference point Yeah, it is sad. So, the thing is with that AI art, it bums me the fuck out. Mostly because I'm like, I want to see the original artist of where this came from. I want to know who originally made this so that I can go see their shit. Not the ugly ass cobble that you put together in a program. Thanks. It's very upsetting. Oh, this is art made by an actual artist, and it's very pretty. Although this would be more Andromedan because of how pale they are. I like to picture Arcturians being darker and bolder in their colors. Like this. This is another Vashta piece. She's very good at her art. This is kind of how I picture them, with that really dark blue. Very pretty blue. Only time I use AI is when I make characters for private RPs. Even then, I don't do that. I just generate it in my brain. Wait, do they have scales? She gave them scales. Maybe they are kind of amphibinoid. Only because I make a lot of characters at a time. Brain. Well, generators. Generators exist. If it's a generator and not an AI, then that's fine. I have a NPC generator that I made from scratch for my campaign. Well, let me go see. Let me see if it's still there. I think I have to edit the link. ELDRIG Nova PC. Yeah, I have to edit the link, but you can go in and make a generator, for instance. There is a generator program that lets you make your own, made by a guy named Tail. He's actually the dude that made Cookie Clicker. So he's contributed a lot to my life. If I did decide I want to keep the character, then I'll take the characteristics and whatnot and draw them myself. Generating text with AI is still using AI, as far as I'm concerned. Pick color. Okay, so I'm going to grab a color from this reference piece that I got pulled up, find a really pretty blue that I like. That's a pretty blue. And let's fill that in. You okay, babe? Not quite deep enough. Oh my gosh! I fucked it. That's what happened. Oop. Let's make it a little more saturated. Because I want them to have this deep sapphire color. I forgot I saved this! This is another Arcturian piece that a human being made. It's a statue! And it's so cute! Look how cute he is! I freaking love him! I love this little guy. I love this little dude. It's so cute. People are great. People are people. So what should it be? Here's more Vashta art. She only gives them 2 fingers, I give them 3. Let's see with the, like, glowy third eye. Yeah, it seems like a lot of Arcturians have, like, scales on their head. It's really interesting. It might be some sort of amphibious, reptilianous sort of offshoot? Not offshoot, what's the word? Like, holdover from when they were more amphibious, reptilianous? Alright, so let me... Nope. Let me do this. So this is literally the only color I will be filling in. I need this on first in order to do that. This will not be the color. I want it to be blackish, but I'm doing it with white right now so I can see what I'm doing. And then I give them lip color. I won't make it that red. Okay, so let's bring it in to about here. So yeah, I want their eyes.
Oh, have a good night! Yeah, and thank you. Thank you for the good streamies.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself while you were here. Okay, so let me go peek at all the Arcturians I got pulled up here. Okay, yeah, I want their sclera to be kind of black. And then I want their eyes to be more bluish. Usually a lighter blue than their own. Oh yeah, they look cool. That looks really cool. And maybe sometimes the eye color will be darker than that, but there it is. There they are. There's the Arcturians. And then sometimes they'll have more light colored skin like this. And then other times they'll have like super dark skin like this. But for the most part, this is like average Arcturian color. Maybe a little bit lighter, but not too much. There we go. So this is the like pretty sapphire blue I picture them having. Some can lean closer to purple. Some of them can be whiter. Like, once again, this is a Vashta piece. Arcturian representation that she likes to do. And they're very pale. So I think some of them can be pale. Maybe like this. Although this looks like a hybrid. Because he's got ears. Arcturians usually don't have ears, and their face is very sunken in and creepy. Okay, so next I'm going to color my Andromedans. This is also another unplayable race. And they are the assholes. Oh, I shouldn't color them yet. They are not done. I cannot color them yet. I have to finish drawing them first. Let me give them their nippy noppies. And just like the Zetas and the Arcturians, I burped, it was gross. They are hermaphroditic and possibly amphibinoid. But they're a little different. They're paler. Their heads are long and they look a little silly, a little frightening here. This is also another Vashta piece. I believe this is an Arcturian that she did, but I'm basing it off of an Andromedan, and I'm gonna make the head bigger. And the eyes are gonna be the same as an Arcturian's, but their eyes are also gonna be more unsettling. And they also have long, pointy ears. I don't believe Vashta gave this model ears. Oh, she did. This is not AI, and I sadly do not know the artist because they have not signed it. Artist, sign your work! But I believe this is some sort of like Anunnaki piece or like ancient builder race piece. This is also kind of how I picture them, with these big ass heads. They normally don't have hair, though. That one had hair, and no, they don't have hair.
And they also have 3 fingies and 3 toes.
Or 3 fingers and a thumb and 4 toes. That's a better way to describe it. Okay, so let's go in here, give them their fingies. And of course they are also very slender, but they still have some sort of brain power. But they can't really telepathically connect with you. They can just hit you with psionic waves, which is why they are still Density 4. They are not Density 5 anymore, but they do still have some sort of psychic abilities, but not for communication, just for psychic damage. I fucked up. I ate another hot Cheeto. I'm so stupid. Me. Oh man, these things are hot. Maybe I should wait until after stream to eat them. Me gets hungry. Hot Cheeto. Listen, y'all. I didn't forget. I just really like hot Cheetos. Hot Cheetos, delicious. Okay, whee! Oh, it's a little too far. My nose is juice. Me. And just like the Zetas and the Arcturians, they only have booba when they are pregnant. Because they feed the babies. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. Okay, I'll give them the grundle again, so I'll know where it's located. Okay, let's give you your tummy button. Oh, I needed that. It was this I was trying to turn off. Okay. Hey, get in there, fucker. It did not want to work with me. Okay, undewear is on, and just for the sake of this, I'll do this too, even though that is technically masculine boobs. Male booba, quote unquote, male booba. But they're not male, they're not female either, they're both. So it's like, I don't know, Twit, I'm just here to draw. There we go. So these are my Andromedans. I believe they're a little taller than the Arcturians. They are. And let's give them their colors. So they are a little whiter, a little pinker. Let me pick a screen color. Ooh, that's a good color. Ooh, right there. That is a really pretty color. Okay. Let's do this. Maybe a little more pink. Maybe a little more red in the pink. I'm looking at the other pick or colors I could grab. That's a little too purpley. Let's move back over here. Because I don't want them to be too saturated. They're actually very desaturated, but there's just this hint of pink on them. Very, very hint. I have an idea. I can do this. Maybe that'll help? Oh yeah, that looks really good. There we go. Just brighten it up. And there they are. My little silly babies of evil. I say evil. Some of them aren't. Most of them are. Now let's give them their lippies. And their eye color. I believe it is also black sclerid. And this one has blue eyes. I like the idea of them also having black sclera and blue eyes. But they also have pupils. Which is what denotes them as like... Oh, wrong brush, you dumb! Japanese sounds like a dramatic keyboard. You're kinda not wrong. I've always equated it to barking, because that's what it feels like I'm doing when I speak Japanese. There we go, Andromedans, creepy bastards. Because, like, I haven't spoken very much Korean, but Korean it feels like I'm trying to be sassy. Well, Chinese I'm trying to sing. Because Chinese is a tonal language. I don't know any Chinese words. Well, I know xie xie. Xie xie. That's how to say thank you. Korean whiny machine gun. Kind of. Yeah, you have to be kind of whiny when you talk in Korean, huh? Ayang, haseyo. You've got to, like, really put it in your nose. With Japanese, it's in my chest, and I'm barking it. Nan desu ka? Let's see. Nani dare? Like, stuff like that. It's... Also, my tone changes when I'm speaking Japanese, because I'm speaking it in my chest. It's really interesting. If I had, like, Japanese in front of me, I'd be able to do it. Chinese is a sci-fi film, spaceship lasers. No, I equate it to more like just singing a little bit. Because you have to hang back to lao. You have to, like, go up and down with it. It's very interesting. Very interesting language. All of them are. I just like languages. Languages are sick. Okay, so I've got my boys. And I've got my other boys. Here's my boys. My two... They're not boys, they're theys, but I got them. And they are an extension of these guys. So we can kind of see the family, like what's happening here. Okay, I'll move you back in your spots. Now, like I said, these guys, not playable. Don't play them. You can't. They're bad. They're evil. I mean, some of them are. You can't do it, though. And I'm gonna plop them right here. I should probably label these folders later, but for now, they're perfectly fine where they are. Alrighty, and with that, I think I'm gonna call it for the time being. I've covered a lot. I went over all of my mechanics. I won't be doing that again for a while until I guess need to, because maybe I've changed something, or I need to do a quick review of everything, because I'm covering new shit, and it's like, connected to it, maybe. So, for now, I'm not going to worry about that. Also, I will be saying, I don't think I will be streaming on Wednesdays for the foreseeable future, And that is because, for right now, I've world builded everything I need to world build. I will be coming back eventually, back to Wednesdays, but expect a 4-day stream week with Wednesday as a non-stream day. Just so that I can quietly focus more on the gameplay itself and making sure all of it is working correctly. And then I can eventually come back and cover more world-buildy, quote-unquote, focused stuff for Wednesdays. So, yeah. Expect that. And I will be making an announcement about that as well on my Discord, so you don't miss out on that. But for now, let's head on out. I want to drop in on this really cool guy who is a big shot. Oh my god, he's AFK. This is gonna be hilarious. Who wants to scare Lilin? Me, I do. Y'all wanna go read Lilin? I wanna read Lilin. Let's go read Lilin, y'all. Let's scare him. Let's say oogity boogity boogity. I might even hop into his call for a second and be like, oogity boogity. Although, I can't just join whenever I want to, which is fine, I guess. It's fine, I guess. I don't know if he even likes me. Anyway. Oh yeah, he is playing Deltarune, but he's playing Chapter 1. He has not played 3 or 4 yet. He needs to replay 1 and 2 in order to get to 3 and 4. Joining Yell Pineapples before leaving properly. God, I wish I could. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna be picking Oblivion back up. I'm gonna be trying to do some main story quests. I have to babysit some little asshole. But for now, the cafe is closing, and I will see you all later. Ta-ta for now. Pineapples!